they prepare for the game against the Dolphins this Sunday. I did a podcast today with Dan Lifshutz, the Over Under podcast. Bankroll Boys back at it. We're going to post that in just a little bit, but we broke down the game this week, and I just wanted to throw this out there, just talking about the football game, because we'll get into all the topics and the headlines and all that. Where are the Patriots better than the Dolphins? I want you guys to think about that throughout the show. If you do want to join the show, the phone number is 617-779-0985. We're on YouTube. What's up, YouTube? Just go to youtube.com/985, the Sports Hub. You can join the chat. I like to use the remote, so if you have Comcast, because I was told some of you don't, but there's the button. You just click the voice, youtube.com/985, the Sports Hub. Boom, and it pops right up on your television. If you don't, just go to the apps, go to the YouTube. There you go. You can join from there. Where do we start tonight? You just heard a clip from the Catch 22 podcast today with our very own Alex Barth and his co-host, Evan Lazar, who, the quote was mutiny in the locker room. And I saw it for myself. I worked the broadcast on radio, and I saw Pop Douglas in a tantrum walk off the field on a 4th down. On the biggest play on a 4th and 3, he was upset. He walked off the field. And he owned it this week. Jalen Polk was stomping his feet after getting open on a couple of plays. And you're seeing it now from the receivers. The running backs have now fumbled. Maybe somebody else wants the brunt of the work because of that. How can there not be mutiny in the locker room? Somebody won the quarterback competition in camp and didn't get the job. Gerard Mayo preached competition all off season long. All off season long. It's a competition. Everybody's a competition. How many times did you hear the word? But Drake May won the quarterback competition. Whatever your thoughts are on who should be the quarterback, if Drake May should be the quarterback, whatever, it doesn't matter. They set the tone that day when they chose the guy who didn't win the competition, who got paid $8 million with way more than he could achieve, by the way, which we don't talk about enough. But Skaz, one day, one night, not tonight, we're going to look at Jacoby Brissett's contract. If you really knew the full amount of money he could make, you know why he's starting every week. Mutiny in the locker room. Duh! We don't need a guy who works for the Patriots to tell us that. That day, that was the day. If we're at work and it goes, whoever has the best job or the best score or the highest sale, let me relate to you people. I've worked an office job before. I've worked in sales. We have quotas to hit. They throw out whoever gets the highest amount of wins this month. Doesn't matter about your gross, how many wins. There's a competition. And at the end of the day, somebody wins and somebody gets the prize. It happens at all of your jobs. I've been there. Okay? It's the same thing on the football field. Wins. Who won the job? Whoever wins the job, it's a big deal. Whoever's named the week 1 quarterback, it's a big deal. Whoever's named the starting tackle, it's a big deal. If you're on the opening roster, it's a big deal. Drake May won the competition at camp this year. That happened. The coach said it. Who's the quarterback? Jacoby Brissett. They named him a captain. From that day forward, you want to talk about a mutiny in a locker room? That's where it all started. You got your first win of the year against the Bengals. Great. You played the style of football that Gerard Mayo said he wanted to play. 3 weeks later, they're not running that style anymore. They're not doing the things that Gerard Mayo did. Why? Because some players want the ball, but they can't throw the ball. The defense, some guys are overrunning plays or getting called out for certain things. There's a lot going on here, and let's not act like it wasn't going on a year ago. I can bring up stories where it was Gerard Mayo himself who said that the defense is upset with the offense. Last year, the defense was 9th in the league, and their offense could do nothing. This year, their defense that everybody loves, that they lost 5 guys, and you'll see one of them tonight in Matthew Judon in Thursday Night Football, who they traded this offseason, who also wasn't mutiny in the locker room. You saw it all. Gerard Mayo a year ago said the defense was upset with the offense. That's a divide in the locker room. There's been a divide in that locker room for a long time. They fired Bill Belichick thinking it would change. They hired Gerard Mayo, who's all a part of it. The biggest part of it is Gerard Mayo. Skaz, we're 4 weeks in, bro. About to be 5 weeks in. And there's mutiny in the locker room? Duh. It's been going on for a couple of years now. Of course the offense is upset with the defense. Of course the defense is upset with the offense. Of course the receivers want the football. Of course people want Drake May to be the quarterback, even in that locker room. How could we be surprised by this? 617-779-0985. I wasn't planning on starting that way, but here we go. More of this on the other side. We'll get into the Swayman stuff because I got more on it. I've been thinking about it. Oh, and I'm checking boxes too. That's it. Everyone's checking boxes. I am too. We'll get into that. Jaylen Brown was on Hot Ones. We got some clips for you on that. And we did talk to UMass basketball coach last night, Frank Martin. He gave us a little tidbit on Joe Mazzulla. I think it's worth replaying. So we'll have that for you. We're here until 10 o'clock tonight. Skaz is here. I'm Joe Murray. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5.
For us, it's about mental toughness. It's about mental agility, and we won't be rigid in our thought, and we're going to try to put the best team out there. I'm not really a big woe is me or anything like that. We knew going into the season we would take our lumps, and even after the first game when we beat Cincinnati, we understood that this is unsustainable as far as winning that way. With that being said, there have been things that we've done well, especially after the first two games. Those were competitive games. The third one wasn't so competitive, and this past one, we still had an opportunity as bad as we played. And I think it still comes down to execution.
All right, back here at 98.5, the Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. Skaz is here as well. The lights are on very brightly. But we're on YouTube if you want to hang out. YouTube.com/98.5, the Sports Hub. Woe is me. Woe is me, says Gerard Mayo. At least I like how he knew that it wasn't sustainable what happened week one. By the way, how's that Bengals win look right now? It doesn't look as good. It doesn't. Want to get into a lot of Patriot stuff, but why would anybody be surprised? And credit to Evan Lazar because, he gets to watch the all 22, whatever it is, video. I don't need to watch that stuff. I work the games, and I'm not trying to use that as a flex. It's just I'm here. I literally watch the game while I'm watching the television, listening to that broadcast while listening to the radio broadcast, so I pick up on everything that's happening. I saw quit. And on Monday's show, I even said we had our first quit of the year. It was Pop Douglas. Pop Douglas, who wanted the ball, complained about not getting the ball, which led the Patriots going away from what they do best, which is running the football. And then Gerard Mayo trying to, massage the ego. Alex Van Pelt started throwing the ball more to Pop Douglas, and now they're not running the ball anymore. The Gerard Mayo hire right now I'm being so critical of. I thought the best case scenario for the Patriots this year was Gerard Mayo showing he can be a coach. You know what? I'll say this. There are some things I've seen from Gerard Mayo this year on the football field as a coach that I like. Okay? I thought he made a couple of interesting challenges this week. Maybe that's not him. Maybe it's Evan Rothstein, whatever. So maybe X's and O's, I think he might know his stuff. We're just not going to be able to see it just yet. But what we are seeing is too much of a player's coach. It's not working. We're 4 games in. Maybe it changes. But, guys, we watched camp. We saw it at camp. We watched Matthew Judon come out and sit on a beanbag. What was that? A dummy bag? Whatever it was. And Gerard Mayo had to talk to him. And then we watched Judon walk off and then come back out and talk to, who was it? Elliot Wolf and Matt Groh. Tell me that's not a problem in the locker room. That we saw that. Everyone wanted to credit Gerard Mayo for the way he handled that. And then they traded him for a 3rd-round pick, which I liked. I actually think that's a big win for both teams, by the way. It's a win. Absolutely. But now Gerard Mayo's facing adversity because everyone's getting injured. I mean, how many guys are injured on defense? 5? David Andrews goes down this week. I think he knows they're doomed. And now the players know. Godshaw goes out on the radio and says, yeah, guys aren't really running their assignments. They're kind of freelancing, doing their own thing. This is, I'm going to try to use this without mentioning Bill Belichick. Things are different at Patriot Place. They're very different over there. And having a player's coach like this, it's not going to work here. They did this before. We've seen this story. Pete Carroll came in after Bill Parcells. It didn't work. Everyone didn't respect him. I'm not saying people don't respect Gerard Mayo, but I don't think they're respecting the decisions he's making right now when it comes to who's on the football field. And this isn't me advocating for Drake May to be the starter. I think anybody but Jacoby Brissett should be the starter. I stand by that. I think anybody but. It doesn't have to be Drake May or Joe Milton or whatever. The team's not doing themselves justice not having a backup here. But if you want to look at the problem on the team, I can say Pop Douglas is quit, and I can say that Jalen Polk is stomping his feet, and that Ramondre Stevenson's pissed that he can run the ball, but he's fumbled 4 times. Like, look at his workload. Of course he's fumbling. But it's Gerard Mayo who did all this. It started with Judon. He started it last year when the defense was upset that Mac Jones was turning the ball over constantly. I'll pull up the article. It was from Mass Live a year ago if I have to. He did that last year. He preached competition, and the guy who won the competition isn't starting. So how do you fix this? Is it to start Drake May? Is that really going to fix things? It's not. I'm curious if someone comes out and goes out against Evan's report. I shouldn't even say it's a report. He said it on a podcast. But, like, are the Patriots going to rise to the occasion? Is this now them facing adversity? I mean, they are playing the Dolphins this weekend, who their head coach sucks right now and can't do anything without Tua Tagovailoa. That's a fact. They have less points this year than the Patriots. If you're going to blame a guy for this and whatever the report is, it's Gerard Mayo. He did it last year. It's happening again this year. It happened last year, too. Why would you not think there's problems in the locker room? Jacoby Brissett's not moving the ball down the field. Nobody's getting the ball. The offense stinks. The defense is literally putting their bodies on the line. They used to be a good defense. Now they're not. They're at 29th in the league. That's what they are. It was Gerard Mayo. 617-779-0985. Mutiny in the locker room. Why are we surprised by this? Why? Why should the Patriots even take this down? If it was on the Catch 22 podcast today with our buddy Alex Barth, his buddy Matt Dolloff from 98.5 The Sports Hub, he's going to join us in a little bit. And we will hear from Evan Lazar, who said it. Coming up at 8:20 tonight. So if you want to tune in then, 8:20 tonight. 617-779-0985. Skaz, I want to bring you in. I know you've been on the phone, so I'll let you do your thing. But nobody should be surprised by this. I am interested in the game this weekend, though. I put this into your head a little while ago. Where are the Patriots better than the Dolphins this weekend? For those bettors out there, it was open to pick them. It was 3.5 on the look ahead. So if you know betting, just do 3.5 minus to 1 now. Patriots are favored. Why? Why are the Patriots favored over the Dolphins? What have the Patriots done that show you that they should be better than favored over any team in the league right now? Yeah, I just told you the Dolphins stink. They don't have Tua. They have 2 great wide receivers. They have running backs who can run the ball. They've lost a bunch of pieces on their defense, but what makes you think the Patriots are going to be able to do anything offensively? We'll go to the phones here at 617-779-0985. Chris, he's in Abington. What's going on, Chris? You're on the Sports Hub.
What's up, guys? Hey, I just wanted to call in real quick. I just feel like, we started off, what did we think we were going to be before the season started at this point? 1-3. We're 1-3 now. So I just feel like we're being an oxymoron. You guys are feeding off of this. You love it.
Oh, I love it. I love it. You know why? Because I'm not surprised. This happened last year.
I know, but what are we doing? We're calling for anybody but Jacoby Brissett, but it doesn't have to be Milton, doesn't have to be Drake May. So who is it? What are we doing here? You know what I mean?
What are we doing?
We have to ride this year out. We knew it was going to be like this. We can't throw the kid in there. The kid gets killed, and then we all say, "Why did we throw the kid in? Terrible offensive line. We have Vidarian Lowe as our left tackle. We can't even. Jacoby Brissett's over/under on yards is not even 200 a game." And then we want to throw the kid into this? What are we going to do, If we're looking towards the future, that can't happen. So I'll hang up. I'll let you guys discuss. But we can't be that walking oxymoron where we're saying, put the kid in, but he's going to get killed. He might do better, or it won't be any better. So what are we doing here? What are we doing? We just got to look towards the future. We were great for 20 years. I'll hang up, and hope you guys have a good night.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Appreciate you. Skaz, you got anything you want to add to this, man? I know you've been busy back there answering the phones.
Hot phone lines tonight, Joe. Always a good sign. But no, I'm kind of with you. Nothing so far this season has surprised me. I mean, we all knew this was not going to be a good football team. It's a rookie head coach with a bad quarterback situation and an even worse offensive line situation. So I think if you expected or thought anything else going into the season, you were, kind of just fooling yourself. They're not a very good football team, and that's what we've seen, so far to this point in the season. I think this is a big week for Gerard Mayo. I know, where the mutiny is obviously a hot topic right now and Mayo's job so far, but this is a very winnable game for the Patriots, especially if they limit turnovers, limit penalties. We've seen this Dolphins team really, really struggle to score points, even more so than the Patriots since the Tua injury. So I think this week is a big one for Gerard Mayo, a guy who we believe to be a player's coach. Can he get his players to continue to buy in on a bad team and to fight for a win this week against a bad Dolphins team, a team that, coached by Mike McDaniel, almost looks like they want to quit. You have two teams that I think a lot of people are expecting to quit by the end of the season. So I think this week is about coaching and getting buy-in from your guys. So I think this is a very big week for Gerard Mayo.
It's a big week. Skaz, I know I put this one out there, but I want you to think about it throughout the night too. Where are the Patriots better than the Dolphins? Think about that one. We'll continue this conversation. We got loaded phone lines, 617-779-0985. We'll get a headline coming up. We're going to talk to Matt Dolloff. He'll be in studio at 7 o'clock. We'll get his thoughts, too, on the Patriots and Bruins as well. We'll get you that hot ones as well. We're here all night long. I'm Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
All right, Patriots and Dolphins square off this Sunday. The injury report is out. Kyle Duggar, KJ Osborne, Vidarian Lowe. Well, he's back out there, but Caden Wallace also did not practice today. Seems to be some problems going on. just keeps getting better.
Joe Murray on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
All right, back here at 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. Here till 10 o'clock. Matt Dolloff's coming up at 7. Evan Lazar at 8:20. Talking football. We're going to get into some hockey as well tonight. Skaz is here. We're going to actually do an extended in or out tonight because Skaz was away for a couple of days, and we've just been firing things to each other that we're in or out on. So we're going to 7:35 instead of 6:35. No, wait, what time is it? This damn time change has got me. My ride in today, brutal. There's got to be a gap in there, Skaz. I don't know what it is. Maybe I have to leave before 4:20 instead of waiting until 4:20. You know? By the way, some guy was mad because I said that the Felger and Maz show were the opening act tonight. He didn't get the joke. I think he must have missed that one. So mutiny in the Patriots locker room. Why is anybody surprised? This has been going on for a long time, and it's all been started by Gerard Mayo. Gerard Mayo last year was the one who said the defense is upset with the offense because Mac Jones sucked. That's a fact. Go look it up. Mass Live, Karen Gregan a year ago. That happened. It's a fact. So what happens this year? They have training camp, and Drake May wins the competition. He preached competition all summer long. He said the word competition so much, we might even have a bit that I remember of us doing about it. So who won the competition? It was Drake May, but Jacoby Brissett's starting. So there's a mutiny in the locker room we're hearing. Are you surprised? Duh! This is Gerard Mayo's doing. He did it last year. He's the head coach this year. Everyone rallied in week 1. They ran the ball and everyone was happy, and then people started complaining about not getting the ball. So they tried to throw the ball to those guys, and it took them out of their game. It's Gerard Mayo trying to massage everyone's ego. Everyone got paid this year. Everyone got extensions. Devin Godshaw was pissed. You know what? He got his money. Matthew Judon embarrassed them and called them liars. And it happened in front of Mayo. Mayo was talking to him. He walks off. What does Judon do? He walks back on, yells at a couple of guys, goes back, and gets traded for a third-round pick. Of course there's mutiny in the Patriots locker room. Why are we surprised? Let's go to the phones here. Let's start with Tim in Nashua. Tim, I get your emails,
Joey,
man. How you doing?
Joey, I understand that, they have people in place to make these decisions, but we always knew that there was a problem with the offensive line. And then I'm reading this article on 98.5 about these 3 to 4 veterans that are out there. How is it not that they're bringing these people in and putting them on their practice squad? They got plenty of money. I'm just confused. You don't want to put Drake May in. You won't get another quarterback besides, Jacoby. These decisions being made, I mean, I know you have a problem with Mayo, but it's just so uneasy, Joe.
Well, may I add, not bringing in a veteran quarterback?
Right.
If Jacoby Brissett gets hurt, Drake May has to play. They don't want him to play.
It's asinine. I don't understand how you've got Groh and Wolf making these decisions, and we're on the outside. And you see every day in practice that the line is not. You can't solve it in squad inside that wall of that organization. So bring in whoever you have to bring in and protect the quarterback.
Good call, Tim. I agree with you, man. They've been. Who's playing center this week? Some guy named Hudson. I think he played at Louisville. I got to remember. Oh, I'm gonna just keep throwing this one out there. Where are the Patriots better than the Dolphins? Where is it again? Rocco is in the North End. Hey, Rocco.
Hey, how you doing, Joe?
How you doing?
It's not just that the personnel sucks. I mean, I don't know what Mayo is as a coach because if you don't have the horses, it's hard to really know who and what he is. But, I mean, I don't understand. You fellas always alluded to the fact that they've always been in the bottom of the league in real money spending. Brady's gone.
They've got to go out. They've got to go out. I don't know what the free agent class looks like next year. They draft like crap. I mean, if they could draft better and sign a couple of free agents that can come in here and impact this team on both sides of the ball, especially getting a weapon, some kind of weapon.
Rocco, I don't disagree with you. You and I are on the same page, bro. But let's just say Rocco from the North End hears that the Patriots got mutiny in the locker room. Are you surprised by this?
Not at all. You got a guy in his first year, no experience, nothing. They ordained him coach. They didn't even know they'd have to make him coach because they didn't know that it would be an abysmal failing on Belichick last year.
It was the plan, remember? It was the plan. Kraft knew he was going to be the guy 5 years ago.
But he thought that Bill was going to leave him with a competitive team, a team with talent, a team that could compete, and instead he left him with a team that's at the bottom of the barrel.
I think he thought
Listen,
Bill
Miami,
was...
Take the money line, Miami.
Okay. Money line Miami, says Rocco. Maybe he knows a guy in the North End. This is my question. The Patriots are favored for what reason at all? What reason? Why? And it took Dan Lifshitz to knock this into my brain today, talking to him earlier. Where are the Patriots better? Where? Dave is in the car. Hey, Dave.
Yeah, hey, you hear me all right?
I got you, bro. How you doing?
Good. Yeah, as you're just alluding to, I mean, this all started, with Mayo back when, he's initially hired and named the successor, as you're saying.
No, I'm saying it happened last year.
I mean, it was great.
No, dude, it happened last year when he was the linebackers coach. The defense was pissed. They were giving up less than 20 points a game, but their quarterback couldn't make a throw, and there was a divide between the defense and the quarterback back then.
Right, but I'm saying it's even before that when they initially made him the successor as this new coach that's never even been, an NFL coach at all. And they're already saying, Belichick, hey, here's the guy that's going to take over for you. And that's Brady's last year. We already knew he was leaving. And then look at the next, few years as Mayo's probably in there, and Belichick didn't like him for what his contract was, and that's where the mutiny initially started, and it all stems from the Crafts. I mean, I think they're just driving their own team into the ground, pretty much.
Dave, good call, man. I just bring up competition. Didn't Mayo, guys, I don't know if you saw this, didn't Mayo double down this week that Drake May won the competition, but they wanted to go with Brissett? And by the way, I stand by them going with Jacoby Brissett at least early on to start the year. It worked week 1. They ran the football. In week 2 against Seattle, they rushed for 185 yards. I don't know who made the call on third down to try to throw it to move the field goal back that got blocked. They hit that field goal. They could potentially win the game up 6. So that call, that's Van Pelt, whatever. The coach can't handle the locker room. The offensive coordinator can't call the right plays. Like, he runs an unbalanced line to the right, but they run to the left. What are you doing? Their defense isn't really that good this year. Oh, they got a top 10 defense. Oh, yeah, it's 29 right now. They've lost Matthew Judon, Kyle Duggar, Christian Barmore, Jawan Bentley. Who else? They've lost probably more than that. They just lost their best offensive lineman in David Andrews, or at least a guy that could make calls at the line. Of course there's dysfunction on the team. Of course there is. It's not going to get any better. And Skaz and I have talked about this all season long. What's a successful season for the New England Patriots? It's not Drake May. It's not winning games. Can Gerard Mayo be the guy to lead them into the future? We're 5 games in. He had a terrible offseason. Remember the orange juice? Do I have to bring it back, Skaz, to the orange juice? He spilled it all over himself, and he tried to make it a joke. I said Bill O'Brien was suspect last year, bro. I'm sorry. Gerard Mayo has made the list. Suspect. 617-779-0985. Justin and Lynn, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, Joe, you know something? I am very disappointed with their defense and their offense. They both suck right now, and they're in deep trouble, Joe.
All right, Justin, I can just hear me in the background yelling, he's suspect. Thanks, Justin. I appreciate you, buddy. The mutiny in the locker room. Oh, Danny from Quincy.
Joe, you have to define if what we're hearing is true. You have to differentiate between mutiny on the head coach and infighting between the players on the same side of the ball than what happened last year. Okay? Under Bill Belichick, ever since Brady left, nobody ever quit on Belichick. They played hard for him. Christmas Eve game against Cincinnati, when everybody could have gone home, they came back. Stevenson fumbled the football. And I can't think of a game. Now, you're right. The defense collectively, and I was calling you every week about this, in the last since 21, after the Colts game, the defense kept giving the ball back to Mac Jones, and he kept giving it back to the other team. After a while, that's going to wear on a team, but that's different than what's going on now. So how can you say it's the same? Please, I talk, you talk. I think I did that the last time, but you accused me of not doing it, but go ahead.
I did turn my mic off. No, I'm just going back to last year when the defense was upset with the offense and Mac Jones turning the ball over and them giving up only 20 points.
That's true.
That was an article.
That's 100% true.
It was led by Gerard Mayo, who spoke about it in the newspaper.
That was 100% true. The last caller hit it, not the last, 2 calls ago. This is all Bob Kraft's fault. And the amount of omission from his name getting mentioned on the 2 to 6 show, on your show, on all the shows during the day, compared to what Bill Belichick had to go through, Kraft is getting off. He caused all of this. He caused, starting. 100%
true. Oh, wait, what happened, Danny? You good? What happened there? Yes, you know what? It's easy for me to blame Robert Kraft for hiring Gerard Mayo. It's just not my angle today. Duh! The guy who said he picked them 5 years ago, who wanted to flex all over it on Amazon, which is doing a great job, by the way. Did you hear that? And the game's on Amazon tonight, guys. Who's a part of that deal? Kraft. I don't want to do the Robert Kraft thing. Because you know what? Those guys, they think they have it all figured out. They think they're the reason why they won 6 championships. I'm over it. The guy who's in charge is not. Gerard Mayo started this last year. It's happening again this year. Why are we surprised today? Why? Steve's in Bridgewater. Hey, Steve.
Hey, how you doing? Before I give you the pick, let me just say, one, Robert Kraft is just a custodian of the team, and he does have a blueprint. You know, when Drake May gets in this next game, the Patriots make a run, they get the playoffs, and they make a epic trade, and they get to the Super Bowl. So he does have a blueprint. Now I'll give you the real deal. Right now, you can get under 5.5 wins for the Patriots. And if that isn't free money, I don't know what is. The only thing that will stop that is if that plan that I just stated by the custodian.
Okay, I got you. I'm not going to crap on Kraft. I'm not going to. I hung up on somebody else, which I apologize for. But I'm not sorry. Skaz, we'll have more next. We had a guest on last night, UMass basketball coach, men's basketball coach, Frank Martin. Guy was a legend. And we had him on, and, well, he knows Joe Mazzulla, and I said, hey, you know Joe Mazzulla, and we know Joe Mazzulla. Why don't we have a conversation? So we'll hear some of that coming up on the other side. I'm Joe Murray here on the Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
contract in the media, especially with the Bruins, right?
Oh, this is like, I feel like there's never been anything like this in the Bruins anyway, not since the Harry Sinden era.
I'll ask you what team you're on, and what I mean by team is the Bruins or Swayman. I am now Team Bruin. I was a little uninformed early on. I always back the player. Like, first reaction, I back the player. But the Bruins have paid everybody, Matt. Everybody.
Yeah. And there haven't been many hometown discounts lately. David Pastrnak did not take a discount.
But everybody got paid. Grzelcyk got paid, right? Everybody. Now, DeBrusk always got the extension. Maybe not the long-term deal he wanted in free agency.
I think Brandon Carlo got a 6-year
Carlo got
extension.
money.
He's good player, but didn't have to give him a 6-year deal, but they gave it to him.
And I go back to even the days before where, like, Chris Kelly would get extensions that was like, what is going on here? There were
they locked up bottom 6 guys. Like
they loved.
That was Chiarelli, though.
But I mean, even as it's gone on to Sweeney normally paid everybody unless they wanted them to walk and they weren't a part of their future.
Yeah, like Torrey Krug.
And whose agent? Who is his agent?
Same agent as Swayman, I believe.
Krug happy?
I don't think he was happy with how it went here.
Something about that agent, huh? That's seems to be.
I think he plays hardball to an extreme degree, I would say.
So this is where I go by. It's public and it's in the media, and a lot of reports where people have been shut down, by the way, have come out and said the deal's done. And now this is all just brought into the media. Yet there's this big premiere that's coming out. When again? When does this come out?
Oh, I don't know the exact premiere.
But
sorry.
But they got like a bunch of guys though.
Yeah. I think it's like an episode. Each episode focuses on a specific player or something like that.
It's like
I should know more about this.
No. It's okay. We're all uninformed. There's some show coming out, and I don't even forget who else is on the thing.
It's the official slogan of the Sports Hub. We're all uninformed.
Yes. I understand that they want to get a deal done and guys on the ice and all that and have them ready to go. Remember how the Red Sox have this Netflix thing, right? Where they're doing things for this Netflix. The Celtics, where there are things going on because of this special that they have going on. Everyone's got a special right now. But this is the one about the best player on the team. You can say Pastrnak might be their best, but the most important player on the team wants a deal and has gone through the media. The Mark Lewis podcast. Marchand didn't like it. He called him out for it. It's the first time I can remember a contract negotiation with the Bruins and the media, and I just wonder if it's all somehow tied in.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is why I'm sort of on the side of the team now too, Joe, is that, look, I don't begrudge any player for trying to get as much money as possible. I think that's what you should do. I just think it's a little bit harder for a GM to build a roster and manage a cap than it is for a player to just come out and say, I want this amount of money. The Bruins don't have a ton of cap space, according to, if you factor in the Jeremy Swayman deal. They can't go over the cap, and they can't have Jeremy Swayman taking up all the rest of their money. They're going to need a little bit of space during the season. What if they want to make a trade? They're going to need a little bit of wiggle room there. And I think Swayman's going to have to give it to him if he wants to play. I hope they stand firm on whatever their offer is. Maybe they could up it to, they make it sound like they offered it 8 times 8, right? And the report that came out after it was 8 times 7.8. So maybe Cam Neely fudged the numbers a little bit there, right? But I think the point has been made with Cam Neely. It's funny how Don Sweeney spent all summer trying to dance around. I was like, we're just going to handle this internally. This is going to be between me and the player. I resent that people say I haven't been talking to. We've been in communication, constant communication. I think we're going to work this out, and we want to just handle this between ourselves, between me and the player. We're going to get it done. And Cam just comes out and says, no, I'll say it. $64 million. $64 million. Like, he just jumped right on the third rail.
You should do a bit on that, like you do with Felger and Mess. You could just sit them up there on a thing, right? And then just mimic them.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
You're good at that.
Yeah, I am pretty good at that.
Yeah. Hey, I am pretty good at that.
It's not an improv, though. I got to go back and produce it and all that and write a script.
The opening act.
Yeah.
Matt Dolloff setting us up here on 98.5 The Sports Hub tonight. I looked it up. It's called Face Off. Episode 1's about the best of rivals, William Nylander and David Pastrnak.
They're friends, though. They're friends in real life. They're rivals on the ice.
It shows them sitting down at a table having drinks or dinner, whatever that is. They have some good exchanges. They talked about their final season matchup and how he scored the game winner, which was pretty interesting there.
I heard that Ty Anderson, my co-star on the Sports Hub Underground, top Bruins guy here, said that they actually reveal what. You remember when the Leafs
new
were
host of this? Do we know that? Is there a new host of this hockey show thing? What's going on there with that?
I don't know that.
You don't know anything. I don't either.
No comment.
No, we don't know. I don't know. At least
we're in the dark.
I'm pushing for Ty, but whatever. Go ahead.
So am I. No, he told me that the show reveals. Remember when the Leafs were like bickering with each other on the bench?
Yes.
That reveals what they said. I don't know if it's the exact sound of it, but I think there's a little more to that.
Episode 3.
So I'm looking forward to that.
I am too. Episode 3, Learning to Win, featuring Jeremy Swayman and Matthew Tkachuk. And if you were wondering if goaltender Jeremy Swayman was going to budge in his contract negotiations with the Bruins, you won't be after watching this episode.
Oh wow! See, this is what I always thought it was the agent being tough about it. So maybe Jeremy Swayman's driving that, drawing the line.
Goes on to say he ain't budging. He ain't budging.
Here's my problem with it, Joe. And I talked about this with Ty on the newest Sports Hub Underground. It's out now.
Sports Hub Underground.
Go check that out. 985thesportshub.com and Sports Hub app. He's overvaluing himself right now. He's not in the tier that he thinks he's in right now. And it sucks that we have to go to that to go there with him, because he did have a great playoff run, and I think he's a really good young goalie, one of the better young goalies in the league. I think if you have to rank the goalies, if we were to make the goalie rankings in the league, probably in the top 10 somewhere. And 8 times $8 million salary would put him 6th in the league. And if he's asking for considerably more than that, like 8.5 is starting to get really high. The reports that maybe they were asking for 9.5, which is the Charlie McAvoy deal. Like, that's way too high for him right now. He's just not there yet. He doesn't have a Vezina. He obviously doesn't have a cup. He has one playoff series win to his credit. A guy like Igor Shesterkin, the Rangers goalie, that's a guy who can reset the market.
12.
Yeah. Yeah, like that's a guy who can...
Should he wait for that, Swayman? Do you think it's his right to wait to see what that deal is?
I mean, that might not be a bad idea for him. Like, say in a couple weeks, Shesterkin inks a deal, and he's getting, $10.5, $11 million a year, whatever would make him the highest paid goalie ever. Maybe Swayman can point to that deal and at least say, look, this is the market, so now you got to come close to this number. Swayman goes straight to the Bruins and says, I want $10 million, or, I want $9.5 million. He just hasn't played enough, he hasn't accomplished enough to get to that point. And so I wonder if it might be a better idea for him to take the bridge deal, or, if 8 times 8 or 8 times 7.8 are on the table, take it. Or, take a shorter deal.
Take the $9 million for this year and then figure it out.
Or you take a shorter deal. You bet on yourself. He's only 25. You take a shorter deal. You bet on yourself. You get to the end and you're 28, 29 years old. Maybe he has won a Vezina. Maybe he has taken them on a deep Stanley Cup playoff run. Now you got a case. Now you got a case to, reset the market, as he apparently wants to do. I just don't think he's at that point yet. And I think if his agent has been in his ear telling him he is at that point, that's what he deserves, that's what we're going to get you, I think he's been feeding him some crap. Like, I don't think that's realistic at all. And I don't blame the Bruins at all for holding firm on what they've offered. I think 8 times 8 is beyond generous. Joe, I think 8 years for any goaltender is a lot. Because these guys, they break down. Like, Jeremy Swayman's no guarantee to be the same guy when he's 32, 33 years old. They deal with all kinds of, hip injuries, groin injuries. They break down. And so it would be a huge risk for the Bruins to sign anyone, let alone a really good goalie, to an 8-year deal. And so they're putting that risk out there on the table anyway, and Swayman's turning it down. That's way over the top for Swayman's end, in my opinion, to turn down that kind of deal.
I know, 64 million reasons why. He's Matt Dolloff. He's from 98.5thesportshub.com. He does the Sports Hub Underground show with Ty Anderson. It's a podcast. And he also covers the New England Patriots and Bruins and Celtics and Revolution and Red Sox
And,
whatever
wrestling.
else. Wrestling and
Horror movies.
yep, and does good improv voices. Haven't we tried Beavis and Butthead before? Is it which I can do I can do a good Beavis.
Can you?
Hey, yeah.
You're like asking for too much.
See, there we go. Maybe we could put that with a Sweeney Cam. Who would Cam Neely be? Would he be the neighbor next to her? Oh, kids, like Henry Hill.
Children,
He could be Henry.
pleasure yourself in my tool shed.
With his propane. We got to go to break. I'm Joe Murray. Matt Dolloff's here on the Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5.
right, back here at 98.5 The Sports Hub. Matt Dolloff's here from 98.5 TheSportsHub.com. Go check out all their work. One more thing on the Bruins. A couple more things. I want to get some Patriot stuff in there, too. Fabian Lysell was recalled today. Does that mean he's going to be with the team when they open up on Tuesday, or can they just send him back down?
I think they could just send him back down.
So he's here for a preseason game.
He could be here for one day and then send him back down.
Basically. So they sent him a message, basically, you're down, kid. And he said in the media, I thought I did everything I could. And then they bring him up for the preseason game, but they could just have him start in Providence this year.
Yeah, I don't know that they were necessarily trying to send him a message. I think that could have been just a procedural thing where, based on what Fabian Lysell was saying and how his demeanor was earlier today, maybe it was a case of sending him a message where, you got to be better in this area, that area. But, I don't know what more the kid needs to do. Did you watch? Did you happen to see the game against Philly that he scored?
I did. Yeah, I thought he looked really good.
Yeah, the speed's good. He was
First
aggressive.
game was a no-show. You want to make the team and earn a position, dude? Take some shots on net. And he got the message, right? And it worked.
He was a little invisible the first game. But, yeah, the Philly game, he was aggressive. He was hard on the puck, and he got to a point where guys were sort of chasing him, and he scored. And so, they're punishing him for scoring, I guess. They're going to need scoring. That's the thing. I think it's time to give him a shot at the NHL level. He's never going to be a perfect player. He's never going to be this elite grinder, forechecker, two-way guy. I get that you want him to add that to his game. If you're a guy that's just, going to float around and occasionally put a goal in, you're sort of overvalued if people just look at the goals, right? You got to do a little more than that. And I get it that he has, some of those details to work on and the physical aspect of the game. He has to want the puck. The puck's not just going to come to him every time. And so I get all that, but I thought he showed enough in that Philly game that, I think he deserves a shot to figure it out at this level. And if you give him 5, 6, 7 games and it's not working out, then you can send him back down. I just don't know what more he really needs to do. He's not going to be a totally finished product at 22, 23 years old.
Give me the latest on Tyler Johnson. I'm in. I'm sold. What a pass by Zaka. It was a snipe. Zaka made the play, obviously, but it was a snipe. I like this guy. He's got production. I know he's older. He's not the guy he once was. Where do they find him, and could they want to start the year with him to see what he has? And if not, they bring Lysell back up.
I feel like he's going to get a deal. He's had a good camp. And, yeah, if he signs a deal, it's going to be for minimal money. It's not going to impact the cap that much. He'll replace someone that's making similar money. But, this happens sometimes where guys can show out well in the preseason, but they don't end up getting the deal that you're expecting. And, it doesn't necessarily mean that just because Tyler Johnson's performing well against, teams that are half backups or half of a roster, that means it's going to look exactly the same against a full roster in the NHL. But Tyler Johnson, winning pedigree, playing for Tampa.
I think everyone likes that guy.
He's still got some skill. He scored 17 goals last year playing for the Blackhawks.
But that's what they need. They just need a guy with skill. I said this last. Van Riemsdyk was a nice player to have. He disappeared. It was a ghost in the play. He died out. But Heinen, right, was really solid during the season. They kind of need a guy to just guide them through the regular season, and then somebody just I don't know, could it be Brazeau? Could somebody elevate to the next level?
Yeah, look, I would give him a deal, Joe. I'm just saying I don't think it's set in stone.
Yeah, that he's going to get it.
I think just because he's playing well doesn't mean it's actually going to happen. I would do it because it's the same thing as the Lysell conversation, is that even with Jeremy Swayman, you're going to need scoring. The reason you need Jeremy Swayman is that you don't really know where a lot of the goals are going to come from. Are you going to get by with David Pastrnak scoring a 30 of goals? I don't think so. Pastrnak can't score 200 goals by himself, I don't think.
Tweet coming in from 508 Brian.
Uh-oh.
Is Lysell up because Swayman is giving them bad press? Trying to distract us with a shiny object. Joe Murray, Matt Dolloff, and Skaggs.
is a false flag.
Skaggs.
Fabian Lassale is a false flag of the deep state.
I've never heard someone call him Skaggs, though.
Skaggs.
Skaggs.
Detective Scagnetti over there.
1Z.
I've been called worse.
Yeah, it's true. You have been. Skaggs. It's a new one. No, I'm not buying that.
Complete Boz Skaggs. that's what I always wanted. No, I don't think that. I don't think those two things are related.
The Patriots, there's mutiny in the locker room, according to Evan Lazar. I'm not surprised one bit. Competition, the guy who wins doesn't get the job. Duh. That's all I got.
I know you've been big on him like winning the competition. I don't think that's necessarily like an official thing. Like just because Drake May looked good in a couple preseason games, doesn't mean like he officially won the competition.
I didn't say that. Mayo did.
Did Mayo say Drake May?
Mayo said it, yeah.
Mayo said Drake May has won the competition.
I want us to find the audio.
Pull the audio.
I don't even know if we can play it because it might not have even been on local. I don't know.
He said Drake May has won the competition.
I am pretty sure that Drake May won the competition.
Okay.
I'll find
if you hear the audio, better not be AI. No AI back there, Skaggs.
No, we don't use AI. We don't want someone to take our job. We're going up against machines as it is.
Right.
You got something back there, Skaggs? Skaggs, sorry. That was an accident that time.
Yeah, look, I'm always I don't know how much you've heard of me on the Underground or written in the articles or on the Sports Hub Patriots podcast that I do with Barth. I've been on the side of being patient with Drake May. I think rushing him into a bad situation is a bad idea. I don't think it's worth it. I think the Patriots' mistake that they made was not putting a good enough team on the field before Drake May went in. I think, look, I have a lot of respect for Jacoby Brissett with the beating he's taken. He keeps getting back up and going back out there and plugging away. I could have taken a better quarterback there. I most certainly could have taken a much better tackle group. And I know they're snake-bitten injury-wise on the offensive line, but I would have taken a much bigger investment at the offensive line if they could have taken some of the money that they spent on extending guys internally, Mondre Stevenson, guys like that. They brought back Joshua Uche, who I don't think is having that great of a season. If they spent some of that money and invested in someone with actual left tackle experience instead of what they did with Chuks Okorafor, who's, maybe they'd have someone who's literally with the team and didn't just leave. If they had a real offensive line and a decent quarterback, maybe they could run the ball better. Maybe they could make a few more plays, and maybe they're 2-2 right now. Maybe they close that game out against Seattle. And the clamoring for Drake May isn't as strong as it is right now. I think those middle two games, the Seattle and the Jets game, have really sort of pivoted us in this direction where now we're really starting to feel the heat about getting Drake May on the field.
Yeah, we're all delusional.
Delusional about what?
We're delusional that the team's good and that he's going to change things.
This is another developing take I've had, Joe. We are so desperate to get a quarterback on the field that can make plays. We're starting to convince ourselves that the O-line is actually good.
Yes.
People are saying, no, the pass protection wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. Get the kid in there.
Well, if they could just get the receivers the ball.
The receivers are wide open.
Yes.
Look, there were a couple of plays where the receivers got open.
There were. And I do feel as though Brissett, there's no difference between Mac and this is where I kind of wish I could take some takes back on Mac. Did Mac have limitations? Yeah. Did it hurt him? It did. Was the line bad? Yeah. And, in Bill O'Brien's case, he just didn't have his guys. He couldn't have his guys he wanted to work with, his offensive line. Like, the offensive line coach left with, an illness. So it's like,
yeah,
they just had another guy. All right, I'll take over, I guess. We'll try to fix this. They were doomed. And they didn't, to your point about Elliott Wolf, they did nothing to improve. And it's all happening now. But this weekend, it's funny. I think they have a shot. They just have to run the ball. The Dolphins are going up 100 yards in every single game. Don't get cute. Don't go unbalanced and run to the left when you're unbalanced right. Just follow the guys. Just do it. I think Van Pelt's been too cute, and I do think that Brissett is beat up, and it's hurting his mental side of things now. He might not be calling plays out of the line as much as he used to. He's not finding open guys. He's holding the ball way too long. Like, this is all Mac Jones.
Yeah.
So it's like whoever that quarterback is, that they're slowly going to break. So, If it's Drake May, he's probably going to slowly break too.
Right. And that's why I don't think it's worth the risk. And look, I know that realistically at some point they're going to put him in. And I'm okay with putting him in at some point. Like, I think it's a good idea to see what he can do well and figure out what you need to put around him and, like, figure out what you need to work on and what he needs to improve. Like, I think there is some value in getting him out on the field, in December or whatever. But I think waiting, I think that sort of, limits the whole rookie wall thing happening. Like everyone's going gaga for Jade Daniels right now, and like I get it, he's playing great right now. He's probably going to hit the rookie wall at some point, and he might get hurt. He might, he's not a big guy. He might run out in the open field, and if we have another RG3 situation, history repeating itself in DC. But I just don't think it's worth trying to win games in October or even November of 2024. When we're talking about 2025 and the next 10 years after that. And I just don't see how you hurt his development by sitting him. I mean, I don't know. Can you tell me a quarterback who went in later, like late in his rookie year or in his second year, and he didn't play well, he didn't pan out, and you can look at that guy and say, he should have played more. He got hurt. They hurt his development because they didn't play him. Where I think the other way around, you can hurt a guy way easier, and it happens way more often the other way around.
Well, it looks like now there might be another offensive coordinator here next year. So it's like at this point,
my biggest problem. Sorry to cut you off, Joe, but my biggest concern, my biggest problem with the offense so far this year has been the scheme and the play calling. As bad as the offensive line has been, big picture wise, I'm not going to go break down individual plays and X's and O's and things like that, but just watching the tape, it feels like Alex Van Pelt is he's drawing up plays during the week and then he's just calling them. He's not game planning according to the defense they're facing. They're not going out on the field and surveying what the defense is showing them and taking what they're giving them. He's just saying, all right, here are the plays we're going to run. Let's go out and run them and hope for the best. And you're only going to get so much out of an offensive coordinator that calls plays that way. Where I know people criticize Josh McDaniels a lot, and he had his warts too. He made his share of play calling mistakes. He would be game planning for the opponent and making calls during the game according to what the defense is giving him. Tom Brady did that. Anyway, that's what a good offensive coordinator and a good quarterback do. Alex Van Pelt just sort of does what he does.
Yeah,
I think that's been my issue.
Does what he knows. So where are the Dolphins? Or where are the Patriots better than the Dolphins this week?
Special teams.
I agree.
Kicking. And look, this could be a game that's decided by a field goal, a turnover on special teams, a big punt return.
So you know how I said we've all become delusional, or I am at least? I think the Patriots can win the game this week.
I don't think that's delusional. The Dolphins might be the worst team in the league. I know they have a couple good wide receivers.
They've scored less.
And they have Jalen Ramsey. But
they've scored less than the Patriots.
Yeah.
And so I just...
This is the week, Joe. This is the week.
This is the week.
This is what I've been saying after coming out of that Niners game. Who didn't have them getting killed by the Niners and being 1-3? Big picture, this is where we all... I think someone called in earlier and said that. This is where we expected them to be. So I think this is the week where we find out what team they want to be. If they want, this is their chance to reset. And I think Jacoby Brissett and Jerome Mayo even referenced it themselves. I think they sort of knew that first month was going to be tough based on figuring out how to put the lineup together. And obviously the injuries came up and they just knew the quarterback was going to take a beating. Really tough matchups, Jets, Niners, those defenses. They knew it was going to be tough. And so now you turn the page, you reset. You have a very winnable game coming in here. Beatable team coming in here, winnable game. If they can win this game, you're at 2-3. I'm not saying they're going to beat the Houston Texans. Not even saying they're going to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars in London. But if they can win this game and get some confidence back, get some belief back.
Takes a lot of pressure off, too.
Takes pressure off. You're only one game under 500. You never know.
You're just like a couple of the other teams are half the league.
If they lose this game, Joe... Look,
it's destruction.
What I say about the last two games, too, that's Aaron Rodgers. That's the San Francisco 49ers. If Tyler Huntley comes into Foxborough into Gillette Stadium.
Pro Bowler.
Runs around, escapes the pocket, and hits them for a bunch of big plays with Tyreek Hill. And they lose this game. Then I guess they are the worst team in the league. I know you've had them as the worst team in the league.
Plus 345. I got it.
They might be the worst team in the league if they can't win this game.
I'm just afraid that Josh Uche is going to overrun like a fake outside, reverse, and then Huntley just runs for a touchdown.
I think that's going to happen. But the question is, that happened in the Titans game too. He escaped the pocket. He just couldn't hit the receiver.
Yeah.
That's my big concern schematically with the defense. They can't give up the big plays. That has to stop.
Yeah.
So if they can just not give up the big plays, make Tyler Huntley drive all the way down the field, run the ball, like you said, play good special teams, it's probably too much to say they should win, but very good chance that they win the game. And this is the real pivot point of the season, in my opinion.
We're pivoting. It's the pivot game. Pivot! Like in Friends. They're moving. Pivot!
Not a Friends guy, honestly.
Oh,
I didn't see too
wow.
much of it.
That's a shocker.
Why?
You're not a Friends guy either?
You're
Never
shocked
seen
I'm
it.
not a Friends guy? I was a Seinfeld guy.
I was a Seinfeld guy too.
Wasn't that a rival? Weren't they competing?
Yeah, I watched them all though.
Okay.
I don't know if it was the VCR or whatnot, but here's the girls in school. They watched Friends.
I'm not a snob though. I don't talk about Friends like it's the worst show ever made.
No, but there was an episode
Lisa
where
Kudrow is funny. Matt
she's
LeBlanc. They were funny.
Yeah. Joey Tribbiani.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had an episode where they were trying to move a couch and they said pivot.
Oh, okay. I'll have to look it up.
It's kind of like
I bet you could YouTube.
It's kind of like the man's ear or the bro.
man's ear. Yeah, the puffy shirt.
It's just how you just remember. It's like it stands out there.
Yeah.
The bubble boy.
Yeah.
Moops.
Yeah, he lives in a bubble.
Moops.
Boy.
Moors. It says Moops on the card. He's Matt Dolloff, everybody. Check him out. Sports Hub Underground with Ty Anderson. The podcast is up. Matt, thank you. You've had a long day, huh?
It's been kind of a long day, but I appreciate it.
Anything else you want to talk about before you go?
No, I think the Patriots do win this weekend for the reasons we said. And so I think they get back in a positive direction.
-1. If you ever wanted to make a bet in your life, all they have to do is win.
Right, -1. That's I always find those bets so fishy. If it's under 3.
Do you see why I'm asking?
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to come down to a missed extra point, isn't it?
Dolphins have owned the Patriots.
With Tua.
He's Matt Dolloff, everybody. 98.5thesportshub.com. Thank you, Matt. We're going to get to the headlines. By the way, a special in or out. We're extending it for a little while because usually we only get like 5 or 6 minutes. But Skaz has been away. He's been in and out on a lot of stuff. So we're going to talk about it coming up next here on the Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
All right, Thursday night football. Jeez. Joe, get it together. Atlanta, where the players play. And the Bucks, who won last week. And have Baker Mayfield, who called out Tom Brady, and that didn't work. Well, the Bucks are 2.5-point favorites tonight.
Sports Hub.
What's it gonna be, McFly? Are you in or out?
Are you in or out? Gotta know without a doubt. I'm the one you need for a dirty deed. I'm the best. No! No! I'm actually curious now. Has anybody 350 pounds or over bet on a hot air balloon? Don't call it. But I'm out. And the other thing is, what's going on up there? Are they having picnics? Like what? All I can think of is the Wizard of Oz. Remember when she went away? Out on hot air balloons. Out.
Yeah, I will say they were very cool to look at, very aesthetically pleasing, watching them like go up into the sky, but 100% out on being on a basket in the sky that is controlled by fire.
Why does it have to be a basket? Because it's light?
I am out on the basket in the sky.
Everybody in chat is out on hot air balloons. Brokerage Babe, Ryan, Jay, Tommy, Terrace, nobody. Russ Fox has mixed feelings. And then people call them spy balloons, so of course. What do you do? Like, can you yell at them? How high do they go?
Yeah, you can't really.
You can see them, right?
Yeah, you can see them. You can't really hear them. You can hear kind of like the little like I don't even know what you call it, like the whizzing noise almost when they let the fire go and they're going up. You could kind of hear that from a little distance away. But yeah, no, I'm out on being in a basket in the sky. That is not for me. I don't even like flying, so certainly not going to like flying in a hot air balloon.
All right, what else we got?
All right, Joe, this is another one from the trip. I know you're not a big golfer, but we did go golfing the morning of my buddy's wedding, and this was something I'd never experienced before on a golf course, but a lot of these golf courses have new carts that when you drive off the path or you drive, too far into the woods or a wet area they don't want you to be in, they'll beep or a message will come up on the screen, go back to the cart path. It's when you suck and you hit your ball all over the course. So I was used to that. But this was a new one. We're in the desert in California. Start to drive off the path a little bit to look for our balls. All of a sudden, the cart would just start making like a beeping noise almost, and we would get rattlesnake warnings. And we were in rattlesnake territory. Don't get out of the cart. There are rattlesnakes, and this is a rattlesnake nesting area.
Out.
Joe Murray, are you in or out on golfing on a course with rattlesnakes?
No, out. Out. I told you, I grew up in Hyde Park across from the George Wright Golf Course. There was a fox in there. I'd see the fox, it'd freak me out, and I'm like, what the hell else is in this place? And again, you're in the city, so you don't assume things are in there, right? No, there are things in the golf course, bro. Rattlesnakes? Out.
Oh, yeah, it was like every single hole had like signs on it.
Would you hear like the sign, like the little rattle?
Luckily,
no.
we did not hear or see any rattlesnakes, but my buddies that live out there said it's pretty common on the golf courses. You just watch your step, and if you hit a bar too far out of bounds, maybe you don't go looking for it.
Out.
You're not playing those Pro V1s on these courses.
Yeah, let's go to the golf course. There's rattlesnakes there.
Yeah.
Like, I'll drive the Kankamangas Highway because I want to see bears. You know what I mean? I don't want a bear to jump on my car. Or like, what was it? Six Flags had the safari?
Yes. Yeah,
I want to see the animals. I don't want them on my car. Out.
All right, Joe, we'll get back into a more traditional in or out now. This is one I saw over the weekend, and you were the first person I thought of, and that is that Snoop Dogg is coming out with a new album this fall.
Jeez.
Produced by Dr. Dre.
Whoa!
Joe Murray, are you in or out on a new Snoop Dogg album produced by Dr. Dre?
All right. Out on new Snoop Dogg. In on Dr. Dre as a producer. But this is something I would like. Eminem had his new album, which I've listened to it, and it's meh. It doesn't suck. I'm new Eminem. Eminem's not mad anymore. He doesn't have a chip on his shoulder because he got a lot of money, so like he stinks now. But I wouldn't mind some sort of back in time. Like, is there a new Gin and Juice? Is there a new Ain't Nothing But a G thing? Right? Is there a new just something? Do we get like a da 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 da? It's the da 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 da. Like, do we get a new one of that? Because what was that? 9 Trey plus something. What? No, wait. What? Wow, I sound terrible right now. 9.5 plus 4 pennies. Add that up, is what he says. But could we get we had the Chronic 2? Could we get the Chronic 3? Because here on out, it's the Chronic 2. Tomorrow's day is starting new. And I'm something like a Charleston Jew.
Are we going to get like a new Drop It Like It's Hot? Like,
oh! Yeah! Or, yeah! What's another Snoop Dogg song? I can't remember. All his songs I have like...
California Girls.
I got like swears in them, like in my head. Like bow, wow, wow, yippee, yo, yippee, yay. Like, what's he going to drop on me?
He had that big one with Bruno Mars, Young, Wild, and Free. That was pretty big.
That's how he ended his show. I saw Snoop a couple of years ago. Who did I see there? Ice-T opened up. Joyner from Worcester was a part of that.
Joyner Lucas.
Joyner Lucas is great. I met him. Good
big
dude.
Joyner Lucas.
Joyner, fan of the show. Come on.
Anytime.
We can just let him rap. Maybe he'll do like a sports hub like,
hey,
it's Skaz. Don't call him Skags. You know what? I'm in now. I'm in.
All right, well, it wouldn't be an edition of In or Out with Joe Murray if there was no food, so we will head to Baskin-Robbins for this one. It is October, and Baskin-Robbins announced they will be releasing a Halloween-themed pizza made out of ice cream and a cookie crust. Joe Murray, are we in or out on a Baskin-Robbins Halloween pizza?
Talk to me again. Talk dirty to me.
So just from the picture, it looks like it is made out of ice cream with some, maybe some M&Ms, some.
What's the bottom layer?
It is a cookie crust. It is it looks like a giant chocolate chip cookie.
So it's a chocolate chip cookie bottom
with ice cream on top of it.
With the Baskin-Robbins ice cream on top of it. Anything else? Like any whipped cream or?
It looks like there's some chocolate drizzle and maybe some ice cream toppings. So, M&Ms, gummy bears, whatever you want.
Gummy bears?
I don't know. Just looking at the picture, there's a lot going on.
What do they call it again?
The Halloween theme on a Russo Brothers movie where the Disneyland animatronics become alive and are seeking revenge on their creators.
Yeah, in.
This is like basically iRobot, but it's the Disneyland robots.
Like the guy who, like you made Donald Duck. Well, now Donald Duck's going to choke you with his tie.
What is the scariest Disneyland animatronic? Like I'm thinking of like the Chuck E. Cheese guys or like the Five Nights at Freddy's guys. Those guys turn into life pretty scary.
I love Five Nights at Freddy's. You ever seen that?
I have not seen.
I loved it. I saw the movie. It was great.
But
I have cards if you want on my website. If you want.
Out on being attacked by Mr. Peanut and the rest of the animatronics.
Listen, I hate clowns. I might have told you guys this before, but I don't want the people from my like I would hate any movie I saw as a kid to come at me. Out. And I told you, when we were kids, we had My Buddy dolls. And then the Chucky movie came out. Chucky was a My Buddy doll. Out. Thinking back, someone just mentioned something to me. Remember Chubbs and Happy Gilmore? The wildlife got his hand.
Got to be careful when you're golfing out there. You never know what's out there.
There's a lot of wildlife on the golf course, guys. I never thought about that. Like when you go golfing, you don't know what you're going to come across.
Yeah, I usually see some deer around here.
Has a bird ever taken your ball?
A bird has never taken my ball, but I will tell you, I played with a gentleman one time who hit a ball that took a bird out.
Like Randy Johnson?
Yes, exactly like Randy Johnson. So that was an early morning golf round that went sideways quickly. Felt pretty bad for the bird, but nothing. You're a pretty good tee shot, so not much you can do there.
Anything else tonight?
Yeah, we got a couple more. Why not, Joe?
Not?
It's been a while. We have a TV crossover coming, Joe. Abbott Elementary and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia announced they will be doing a crossover episode.
Ooh.
Joe Murray, are you in or out on Abbott Elementary and It's Always Sunny teaming up?
How bad are they going to insult the elementary? They're going to insult the crap out of them. What are they going to do? You ever see the episode where they tried crack? And I'm like what's going on here?
I'm hoping for like a charity kickball game or like a charity dodgeball game or something like that would be a very funny episode where the gang takes on the middle schoolers.
Ooh, I'd like that. That'd be interesting. All right, in or out, what else we have, Skaz?
All right, Joe. QVC has decided they're going to start streaming pickleball. Joe Murray, are you in or out on pickleball being streamed?
Were you here last week? I can't remember if it was with you or not, but Ben Stiller is coming out with a pickleball movie.
I did not see that.
You haven't?
I have not.
He's coming out like, you know how he made Dodgeball? It's now going to be Pickleball, the movie. I forget what it's called. In. How could you not be in?
Yeah, in on just about anything Ben Stiller does.
But QVC?
Yeah, seems like an odd place for it.
I feel like it's a solicitation to older people to play.
They're selling
pickleball.
it.
Yes.
I will tell you, when I was in San Diego, pickleball courts everywhere. Like I must have seen 100 pickleball courts.
Okay, pardon me. I've never played pickleball.
And neither have I, but I think it's just like...
What do I do?
It's like leisure tennis on a much smaller court. It's for the olds.
Do I get a tennis racket?
It's like a little paddle. I would say it's like a mix between a tennis racket and a ping pong paddle, kind of. More on the side of a ping pong paddle.
Like a badminton thing?
Yeah, but more of a ping pong paddle. Like I think it's more of a rectangle. And
how much mobility do I need?
Not a ton from what I've seen, but I think at the elite level, you're going to get some running around. You're asking the wrong guy.
Okay.
Too young.
I like pickles. Pickleball? I'm out. I don't understand it, so I'm out. I know some people love it. You know who I bet you does pickleball? Dan Roach.
He seems like a pickleball guy.
I don't know why. He seems like a pickleball guy.
All right, Joe. We got another one here on the movie world. A movie that I think people are anxiously awaiting, and that is Happy Gilmore 2. One MJF has been cast in Happy Gilmore 2. Joe Murray, are you in or out on the wrestler MJF in Happy Gilmore 2?
I've talked about this with Jeff Williams. I'm in, but here's the deal. What if he's Shooter McGavin's son? I'm better than you, and you know it.
He's like a villain, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The guy's like the best heel in wrestling right now.
In on him being Shooter's son, then.
Oh, yeah, give me Shooter's son.
That would be great.
And again, is Ben Stiller going to be in Happy Gilmore 2?
My fingers hurt.
You know who is? And our girl, Sydney Sweeney.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Oh, do you think I was going somewhere else with that one?
Thought you were going to say Chubbs. He's no longer with us.
Maybe Chubb's kid will be in it. Michael B. Jordan.
There we go.
I don't know if they could do that. Yeah, Sydney Sweeney. She's going to be the beer girl, the cart girl. She's allowed in every movie.
So she's like the new Julie Bowen, right? Was in the original?
I am a fan of Sydney Sweeney. I like her shows. She was really good on Saturday Night Live. Did you see her Hooters girl segment?
I was going to say, you were a big fan of the Hooters sketch.
Sydney Sweeney is a spectacular actress these days. She might be the finest of actresses. You know who else is in this movie? Paige Bereniak.
Oh, the golfer. Yes. I didn't know she was in the movie. I believe Julie Bowen's in it as well. I believe she's reprising her role. So I'm hoping that, it lives up to the hype, but we shall see.
Felt like Jack Nicholson went by. You know what he's going? Yes. Yes.
All right, Joe. We will end with this one tonight. Since it is the Halloween season quickly approaching, Family Guy announced tonight that they will be doing a Halloween special this year starring Glenn Powell. Joe Murray, are you in or out on Family Guy with Glenn Powell?
What does Family Guy not do well? What do they not do well? Sometimes this show kind of reminds me of Family Guy every once in a while, because I'd be like, reminds me of that time when I was, I do that a lot here on the show. And on Glenn Powell. What was the last thing I saw him in? Oh, he's the Top Gun dude. At the end, he goes, I'm good. I haven't seen Twisters yet. And he's in The Dark Knight, right? Yeah. Is that guy like the new Heartthrob or something?
I think he's next up. I think he's the guy. He was in that Hitman movie. He's been kind of everywhere this summer. I believe him and Sydney Sweeney did a rom-com together.
Really? I might have to go check that out.
Yes.
In. All right. Well, Skaz is back from vacation. We extended it a little bit there. I got the Mets tonight, and I'm taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers outright. And this hour of the Sports Hub has been brought to you by our good friends over at Valvoline and Oil Change. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandOilChange.com for 15% off your next drive-through oil change. At Valvoline and Oil Change, now open in Franklin, Billerica, and Peabody. Well, why don't we just do the headline and we'll go to break, and then we'll recap the hour, because you know who we have coming up in just a little bit? Evan Lazar from the Catch-22 podcast and Patriots.com. We'll talk to him coming up in just a little bit.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On
All right, back here, 98.5 The Sports. We got Evan Lazar coming up in a minute here. You know what? We have 2 callers. Why don't we do it? Gabe, I'm sorry to leave you on hold, buddy. How you doing?
It's okay, Joe. You always take me right away. So, couple quick things. When you're doing the pivot, it was when Ross and not Chandler, but Joey were trying to get the couch up the stairs.
Yes.
And Ross was pivot. Okay, real quick bet. I like Darnell Mooney anytime touchdown and over his yards, which is like 53.5 or around there. So I like those 2 real quick. And I want to talk about real quick. So when we were going into the second round of the draft and looking at maybe a tackle or a wide receiver, was Polk like, oh yeah, Polk is going to be this downfield threat and this electric player? The class of AJ Brown and DK Metcalf, that messed me all up because those 2 guys coming out look like giants and look like, they're automatic, down the field, see you later. And is Polk, this is my best for Polk, like a good Jacoby Myers for Drake May, next year in the coming years. And Baker they wanted to be the downfield guy. He's not working. Tyquan Thornton shouldn't even be on the field. So, we should have I looked at the draft, there were I didn't really recognize any tackles after Polk. So, I don't know. But I'm just saying, why did we did we possibly get another wide receiver 3 instead of trying to go to the tackle?
They let 9 tackles go off the board and got Jalen Polk. It was a little bit of a reach.
Right.
I'm not saying Polk stinks. They needed a wide receiver. There were just plenty others out there. And I think
think Washington got him. I think that Washington going as far as they did and with Penix, I think that really...
Yeah, it helped his stock value. But here's the other one, Gabe, and I appreciate your call. It's one of the receivers coaches on the Patriots, Coach Jalen Polk, and they spoke for him. So they went with a guy that they liked instead of, trading up for Leggett or even Keon Coleman, I think, who was linked to him, who they worked out, they liked. So that's what happened there. One more. Dan's in the car. Hey, Dan.
Hey, Joe. How you doing? Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah.
So, Joe, 2 organizations, 2 different philosophies. The Washington Commanders with the 2nd pick took Jaden Daniels. The Patriots with the 3rd pick took Drake May. They took the kid gloves off Daniels. Look what he's done with Drake May. And again, offensive line play is a league-wide problem, right? 70% of the teams are cribbing about their offensive line. We may be at the bottom. But my question is, if Jaden Daniels hadn't made that ascension at the end of last college year to surpass Drake May in the draft, and the Patriots took him with the 3rd pick if he was available, would he be sitting and we would not know what talent he has right now?
It's wild, man. It's wild. Guys, you ever heard me say, man, that's wild, dude. That's crazy.
Crazy.
Why do you think I did that?
Because the Commanders and Patriots are in 2 completely different situations.
No, it was because I did not pay attention, actually. I'm sorry. I told you, whenever you look at somebody in the eye, they're talking to you, but it's not that you're not listening, it's just that you're not comprehending it. And the first thing you get is, that's crazy. That's wild. At least you heard what he was saying. I'm sorry, caller. I think you should call back sometime, and I owe you one. I was distracted because kickoff on Amazon, I couldn't. There's a lot going on there. Hey, Evan Lazar, everybody. Catch 22 and Patriots.com next here on the Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe. You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5. You're listening. Around here, we call them the Joe Murray Pre-Party. It's Felger and Maz, afternoons right now. Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
All right, back here at 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. With you until 10 o'clock tonight. A lot going on with the Patriots today. Some injury news, some other news out there. I think I might have, I think I hit a button. But we're going to get into some Patriot stuff. And, well, there's something going on with the Patriots in their locker room. Let's go to the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline. We'll welcome in Evan Lazar. He is of Patriots.com, the senior reporter and host of the Patriots Catch 22 podcast at Patriots.com. Evan, how are you tonight, bud?
I'm doing well, Jim. How are you?
Joe, it's okay. I know. No, you're forgiven. You know why? What happened today, man? Just what happened? Because here's the deal, Evan. Before you answer, I saw Pop Douglas freak out on the field. I saw, Jalen Polk stomping his feet. Like, I saw guys upset on the sideline. So today you had some comments on your podcast. Would you like to rephrase them here on the show?
Yeah. Look, Barth pretty well as I do, and him and I can get into some pretty heated debates and arguments over things, even off the air sometimes, as we tend to do. And I'll fully admit I got a little carried away today on the podcast. And I'm sure you've been there, Joe, yourself, just in the heat of the moment. But, the word I use, mutiny, like there's no mutiny in the Patriots locker room. And like I said, I got carried away, and that was my bad. That's not what was going on. But I just think the biggest thing that I worry about, and this is just me personally, my opinion, is, how long the rest of the players in the locker room are going to, sit there and take their lumps while Drake May waits in the wings and waits for his turn. So that was just my opinion, and it kind of came out a little stronger than I intended it to.
Well, that's what happens on podcasts, right? You get your hot take going, right? We're all, hey, this is what... Listen, I'm not saying you said anything wrong. If you got carried away, fine, we'll take it. But didn't Godshaw come out this week and say that there's some guys freelancing and doing their things? And I just told you I saw some things happening. I mean, we can go back to last year, Evan. Gerard Mayo even said that the defense at times, was upset with some of the lack of scoring, and they were even calling out Mac Jones at times. So to say that there's a mutiny, fine, whatever word you want to use about it. But I do think, at least over the last year or two, there's a lot of guys that are frustrated by not winning, and I think that's a fact, and I back you up on that one.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, that's really what it is. I think, some of these guys that have been here for the last couple of years, you can just see human nature kick in for all of us. Like, all of us around here want the Patriots to start winning games again and to be competitive again, and I'm sure that they're the first people to tell you that themselves. And I just, I sense some things are, being talked about publicly, like you said. So that was where it was coming from. I see it tangibly with, Godshaw, with some of the other things that are going on. So that's where it was coming from 100%.
Got it. Let me follow up one more with you. Gerard Mayo this year has said that Drake May won the competition. But Jacoby Brissett is still the quarterback. Do you think that a brand new coach who preached competition and someone wasn't awarded the job, do you think that could have maybe upset the locker room?
It's possible. Like, I haven't heard that or anything like that. I just think from my perspective and my point of view, that it just looks to me like eventually if Drake May is playing as well as he's playing in practice behind the scenes, and again, this is, what they've told us, right? Gerard Mayo telling us that he's been practicing well, the assistant coaches, gushing about him last week with a lot of the other reporters. Like, if he's truly performing that well behind the scenes and in practice, the players, you can't lie to the players about it, right? Like, I'm not saying they're lying, but you can't. Like, they know it. They can see it. They're practicing against it. And at some point, the other 52 guys in the locker room, do they care about this plan that Gerard Mayo and Elliott Wolf have for Drake May's long-term development when, what about the here and now? What about winning on Sunday against the Miami Dolphins and moving forward? Shouldn't we be playing our best players to be able to accomplish that? And that again is just sort of, where I was coming from with the whole thing was just at some point, isn't that going to rub some people the wrong way if you don't play the right guy, if you don't play the guy that gives you the best chance to win? And that's no disrespect to Jacoby Brissett, but we can see it ourselves. You all watch the games. I watch the games. And at some point, it feels like Drake May's time is coming.
All right, Evan Lazar joining us here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Let's talk some football. All right, real stuff. I've been asking everybody we've had on the show tonight, where are the Patriots better than the Dolphins this week? Right now, they're favored by 1 point, open to pick them. The Dolphins obviously have the lowest amount of points in the league this year. Patriots are right in front of them. But I think the Pats have a legit shot this week, but I hope I'm not looking into it too much here. Am I not giving the Dolphins enough credit? I look at their roster and I think that guy's better than the Patriots. That guy's better. So do you feel like maybe the Dolphins aren't getting enough respect this week considering it's Tyler Huntley?
I kind of feel that way, Joe. And the big reason why is because when you watch their offensive film from the Titans, I know the results and the production on the scoreboard was not good, but you go watch that tape and you're going to see Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle open consistently. And Tyreek Hill, running down, through the middle of the defense and just getting overthrown by Tyler Huntley somehow. I don't really know how you overthrow Tyreek Hill, but he managed to do it. And you can see that these guys are open. They're creating opportunities down the field. And the big thing that I was saying today on our shows was don't fall asleep at the wheel, because all it takes is one Tyler Huntley bomb to Tyreek Hill, and you're going to find yourselves down 7-0 real fast. So I definitely think that the Dolphins are the more talented team than the Patriots. I mean, look, they had aspirations this season to be a playoff contender with Tua. So just because you take the quarterback out, the rest of the roster was playoff ready. Around Tua. So I definitely believe that they have a talent advantage over the Patriots. But the one thing that you would hope is that maybe some of that mystique still is in the Patriots defense, that against a backup quarterback and a limited offense, they can still shut those teams down like they did last year with a Gardner Minshew or a Tommy DeVito or, whatever the case may be. If they can still tap into that as a defense, then I can see a path for them on Sunday. But there's no doubt that if you look at the rosters, that the Miami Dolphins have a better roster.
All right, Evan Lazar, Patriots.com, joining us here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Evan, look at the two coaches, right? Gerard Mayo, obviously in his first year, trying to keep it together right now. 1-3 team off back-to-back losses, coming home. He's got decisions to make. Ramondre Stevenson, will he start or not? If you flip out the other side, Mike McDaniel has struggled without Tua Tagovailoa. I ask you, is this game more important for Mayo or for McDaniel?
I would definitely say it's more important for McDaniel. I mean, McDaniel, I know he's just signed that contract extension, but as we know, coaching contract extensions are, not really real sometimes. Like, you can rip those up pretty quickly. And I just look at the Dolphins team right now, and like I just said, like, they were supposed to be a playoff team, maybe even win a couple of playoff games this year. That was the expectation, was that they were going to finally get over the hump. I believe that everybody in the Patriots are well aware of the fact that this is year one of a lengthy rebuild. I don't think anybody is thinking that Gerard Mayo has any chance whatsoever of being a one-and-done head coach with New England. So, yeah, obviously it wouldn't be a great look if you lose to a backup quarterback at home on Sunday, but the bigger picture, they kind of are where we thought they would be, I would say, and I don't expect any repercussions or anything like that moving forward this season. We'll see about next season and beyond, but right now, if there's any coach that's coaching, and I wouldn't say for his job, but just, coaching with some pressure, I would say it's Mike McDaniel.
Evan, I know the Pats have worked out some players this week. Do you see any additions for Sunday, and what's the latest on players coming off the pup?
Yeah, I think the good thing about the players coming off from pup is that they all seem to be able to practice not only just, a little bit, but they're limited. But it sounds like Kendrick Bourne has been out there. He told us today that he's on a snap count or a pitch count right now in terms of how many reps he gets in practice, but that he feels pretty good and is responding pretty well from that knee injury. I still don't know exactly what their plan is for Marte Mapu. I don't know where he fits into this puzzle. But you look at Bourne and you look at Taki, and those are two guys that I do think can help this team immediately right away. Bourne, just getting on the field and replacing some of those snaps with KJ Osborne and Tyquan Thornton, I think he's a real upgrade over those two guys. So now you have Bourne, Pop, and Polk out there instead of Osborne, Pop, and Polk. Like, I do think that is an upgrade, and somebody that can win a one-on-one on the backside or at the X receiver position and create some yards after the catch too. And a guy like Kendrick Bourne, and then with Taki, I look at Mac Wilson from last year as that rangy third down linebacker that can cover in space and maybe get into the pass rush a little bit too. And you don't necessarily have to then put like a Jelani Tavai deep into coverage or a Raekwon McMillan deep into coverage like they were against San Francisco. And that might be able to mitigate some of the damage in the middle of the field. So I think those two guys are important. I hope that Mapu fits into that middle of the field scenario as well, maybe playing some in the box as a safety or maybe in the nickel spot in the slot. Either way, I think that would help this team as well, get some size out there. As much as I love the Joneses, those two guys do get run on a little bit and do get targeted by teams in the run game. So maybe Mapu is a guy that can step in there in the slot and be able to hold up some of the run game.
I know you had a big write-up about the Patriots game plan and the blueprint this week. They have to improve on defense. Do you think the biggest issue for their defense is the lack of players that they have and the injuries and just some of the changes? No Judon, no Barmore, and then now Bentley and Duggar. I mean, it's hard to replace those guys.
It's definitely hard to replace those guys, and I don't want to kind of mitigate that a little bit, but like at the same time, I definitely think, at least from my perspective, what I'm seeing with them is some coaching things too. The big difference between them right now and them in the past. So you look at third down specifically, they're 31st in the league right now on third down defense. Like, that's not going to get it done. And last year they were top 10 on third down, and now they've regressed all the way to 31st. So you can come in and say, Barmore is not here. Judon didn't play, or neither did Christian Gonzalez last year, right? So they were down those two guys last year, and they were still able to be a really good defense. So I look at them on third down, and right now they're playing the lowest amount of man coverage that they've played on third down in the next-gen stats era, which goes all the way back to 2018. So we're talking about the last 6 seasons. They're playing less man coverage than they have in the last half decade of football, and they're playing a lot more split safety cover 2 coverages. And what's happening is these quarterbacks are just running around with all day to throw back there because there's only using a 4-man pass rush. So when you play the single high safety with the man coverage, now you add a 5th player into the pass rush to either rush, spy the quarterback, those types of things. So now when Brock Purdy escapes the pocket, instead of him having all day to, fool around on the edges, they have a linebacker or somebody like that that's coming over and making him make a decision with the football, a Mac Wilson type or somebody like that. So they flip that. They have that player now in the back end instead of the front end. And I think what we're seeing is that these quarterbacks are just extending plays, getting outside the pocket, scrambling for first downs. Like, those are the types of issues that I see on the tape. Like, this is not a coverage issue to me. I think they've actually had some pretty good coverage on third down over the last couple of weeks. They've just really struggled with keeping the quarterback at bay.
All right, final one here, Evan. I'm just reading from Ian Rappaport. You might have missed this because we were doing the interview, but he gave an update about Jacoby Brissett will start this week. Said it's very clear at some point Drake May is going to play. It got a little complicated this week when David Andrews will be out for the season with a shoulder injury. They want, when Drake May is out there, to put him in a position to succeed. They want to make sure that he's not only as ready, but someone who can hit the ground running and not have his growth stunted by a team around him offensively that really has struggled a little bit. Do you have a timetable, or does this just mean that it's not Drake May's time?
Yeah, I would say let's see what Nick Leverett gives them on Sunday at center, because I thought when he came in for David Andrews that he looked okay. I know the line as a whole was a disaster, but just in general, his play, I thought he was okay, and I actually thought that he cleaned up the snap issues that he was having in the preseason. We didn't really see many low snaps or slow snaps, bad snaps, whatever you want to call it. And I think that if he's improved in those areas, that as much as I love David Andrews and I'm a David Andrews guy, I don't know if it will be as much of a physical drop-off. Now, mentally, communication, leadership, like all that kind of stuff, you obviously can't replace David Andrews, but physically as a blocker, I do think Nick Leverett can do the job and get the job done as long as he's cleaned up his snap issues. So maybe they seed Leverett for a couple weeks, a week or two, and then they're able to feel more comfortable about putting Drake May back there. But I'm glad that that's sort of the report or the conversation about this now, because I do think people are starting, and I'm talking about outside people, are starting to see through the Jacoby Brissett gives us the best chance to win, sort of way of thinking that they're putting out there. I think we all realize that Drake May is the more talented quarterback. Now it's just a matter of can they get him in a comfortable situation on the field.
All right, he's Evan Lazar, senior reporter, host of the Patriots Catch 22 podcast. You hear anything about that podcast today? Right? That thing went viral today. But we love having you. We love having you on, man. So I want you to know, good job, good job, buddy. Keep doing your work. Keep working hard. You're one of the best in the business, man. So we love having you on. And you got a prediction for this weekend or what?
I'll say that the Patriots squeaked this one out. I do think it's going to be a rock fight. I think I picked 15-13 on our show today with a Joey Sly field goal to decide it for the Patriots as time expires. How about 5 field goals, all 15 points coming from Joey Sly to get a win without a touchdown on Sunday for the Patriots?
Well, I asked, where's there a place where the Patriots might be better than the Dolphins? It's probably special teams.
It might be there.
All right, Evan, keep up the great work, man. Appreciate you joining us tonight.
Thanks. Sorry for calling you, Jim.
Dude, don't worry about it, man. You do your thing. You're doing great. All right, buddy. We'll catch up soon. He's Evan Lazar, senior reporter, host over at the Patriots Catch 22 podcast over at Patriots.com. So, I got his back. Skaz. You know what? I get carried away, too. You ever heard me talk about we just talked about a Baskin-Robbins Halloween cake. Did you hear me get carried away on that? Silence there, Skaz. You're being cheeky.
We tend to get carried away. I don't think Evan did anything wrong.
I don't think he did anything wrong.
No.
He faced the music, answered the question. We love Evan.
Takes are always welcome on the night show.
We allow all takes. Well,
yeah.
Now that I think about it, not always.
Not always.
No, not always. No, I actually, I'll be honest with you. If someone said something to him, fine.
Boo.
Whatever. And I tried to ask, but I did it in a Joey Sly. We need like a music for that. Joey Sly. Did they say? I couldn't just ask him. Hey, man, did they say something to you or what? I don't care. I love Evan. Hey, I love having him on. Him and Alex Barth are like, we got them in our pockets, guys. They're like, we call them, they come right on. It's great for us. Maybe we'll have like a Joe Show like Christmas party with all our guests.
Would you like to hear from one Ian Rappaport when we come back?
Oh, let's do it. I want to do some hot ones tonight, too. We can't forget about that as well. I'm Joe Murray. Let's get a score update in football.
Sports Hub headlines.
7-7 right now, Atlanta, where the players play. The Bucs, they used to win championships with Tom Brady, so didn't the Patriots, who will be without a couple of players. Well, they weren't at practice today. Kyle Duggar was one of them. What's going on in that
Call now. Visit us online at call128.com.
Everybody knows Joe.
Just keeps getting better.
Joe Murray on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
The New England Patriots answered a big question for us earlier in the week. Jacoby Brissett, once again, is their starting quarterback. The team moving forward with him, as has been the case through the early course of the regular season. That said, it is very clear at some point, Drake May, the number 3 overall pick, is going to play. It just got a little complicated this week. David Andrews, their center, is out for the season with a shoulder injury. They want, when Drake May is out there, to put him in a position to succeed. They want to make sure that he is not only as ready, but someone who can hit the ground running and not have his growth stunted by a team around him offensively that really has struggled a little bit. It is a tough question the Patriots answered this week. Next week, Tom, they're going to still have that question. The following week, it is going to continue until we see May on the field.
All right, back here 98.5 The Sports Hub. Got the musings coming up in a minute here. So, what do you want to talk about? Drake May thing's heating up. I won't use the word mutiny, but yeah. I won't use the word mutiny. Because I've always said that there's a stink of Matt Patricia out there. Something ain't right in that Patriots locker room. Did Bill Belichick leave some old cheese up in the ceiling?
That's a big Jim Murray move right there, right? Some onions in the vents.
Something smells in that locker room. Or maybe there are just some guys on that team who see that quarterback and they're like, he stinks. Speaking of stinking. And then they see this young kid, 21 years old, who's ready, Skaz. There's no mutiny in the locker room. They just know that Drake May is better. Drake May is better. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that they should play Drake May. I think they should bring in a veteran. Bring in a veteran. If you don't want to play May, don't leave him open to play. It's pretty easy. If Jacoby Brissett gets hurt, Drake May's playing. Like, is that what they're waiting for? It feels like that's what they're waiting for. Anyways. I blame Mayo. Last year, he had the whole defense. All mad at Mac Jones. Remember Mac Jones was doing things in practice and the defense was calling it out? That was Mayo. You have the owner talking to Elliott Wolf. You have who knows? Jonathan, who knows? And then they're talking, and then one guy runs the offense, the other guy runs the defense, and everyone got paid. But yet, everyone knows Drake May is a better quarterback right now. Everyone knows. You know it. I know it. All right, we got some points in this football game, by the way. Yeah. When do we see Drake May?
We got some very funny tweets coming in on the Evan Lazar interview, Joe. I don't know if you've seen them yet.
What, would you like to read some?
Big Jim Murray has tweeted, "They got to him." #FreeEvan. Which, yeah, I think is going to be a common sentiment we might see tomorrow afternoon from 2 to 6. And then Alex Barth chimed in with the quotations. You know Barth as well as I do with the little sass meme.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even let that one off the hook yet. Skaz. Well, you know Skaz. He gets a little cheeky at times. Before I even... oh, Fall Guy. Fall Guy. Evan, I love you, buddy. I do. You're welcome anytime, man. I got you back. I got you back. You didn't say anything wrong, dude. I get it. You work for...
Anytime you can tweet out the little sass NFL draft gift, though, the meme, it's very good.
All he said was, "Hey man, the offense and the defense aren't getting along. It's like mutiny in the locker room." I don't think he said anything wrong. I got his back. Team Evan over here.
Team Evan, the night show, Team Evan.
And you know what? He's a great broadcaster. He's been there for years. And it's got to be hard to, it's hard to be unbiased, right? Aren't we, Skaz, aren't people in this town critical of people who defend, like, green teamers? Defend the team? No.
I've never heard anyone call us green teamers, Joe.
I mean, God forbid we say anything bad about the team.
No, we just report the facts, Joe. They were the best team in the league and they won the title. Some people think that's a hot take, but it's just fact.
So there's this big thumb. I don't know what it's for. Like, yeah, buddy. Yeah. And I don't know why I have it in my hand, but Riz, of course, got a photo of me right away with it. Riz, always listening. Oh, speaking of always, Jaylen Brown. But you know what we got next? The Musings. Murray's Musings here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way on 98.5. Gallagher and Maz are just his pregame.
They've been getting wholesale deals for years.
It's Joe Murray on the Sports Home.
And remember there was a guy that was pooping? Oh, you missed the Pucano the other day. There was a big pipe that burst, and it was like they called it a Pucano. It was everywhere. It was nasty. People were driving. But there was a man that used to poop in Pringles cans and like throw them. So today I came across something very odd. You get the a la carte at home at Market Basket, like you get the chicken fingers or whatever, like that little bag. Out! Pringles not in a can? Out!
What are you eating if you're shutting down a movie set for 3 hours? No, I don't buy it.
Me either.
That's a lingerer right there, Joe. I mean,
and listen, I've talked about crop dusting. It is kind of interesting being out in the vent and you just kind of just let it go because nobody will know it's you know. But how do they know it was Will Smith? And the other thing is, why is this coming out now? Men in Black director Barry Sonnenfeld said Will Smith is a farter.
not something you want to be known as.
Yeah, farter. Farter. Will Smith is a farter. End quote. And the soundstage once had to be evacuated for around 3 hours. Will Smith is a farter, the quote said. It's just some people are. And you really don't want to be inside a very small area in a sealed space. You don't even want to be sitting next to him at the Disney Ranch. We evacuated the stage for about 3 hours, and that's incredible. He's a lovely guy. He just farts. Some do, some don't.
Someone in chat has said, well, I guess he's not really the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Remember the guy who called in and said Dom Smith looks like farts? That wasn't fair to Dom Smith.
That was an uncalled for shot.
That was Hey, the dude who called in, Gabe, about the Mooney touchdown?
Bang.
Gabe's got some bets, dude.
Heck of a throw by Cousins, too.
So I get the over and the Bucks, so things are looking good. But thank you, Gabe, for that. Flex, bro, flex. So today is October 3rd. Skaz, have you ever seen the movie Mean Girls at all?
Talking to Aaron more and more. On October 3rd, he asked me what day it was. It's October 3rd.
Why? Why do I love that movie so much? Do you think the Patriots have a burn book?
Maybe some of AVP's play calls that they've sent to the burn book?
Oh, no, it might have been Matt Patricia's. I don't know. Who actually, if there was a burn book, well, they've already burned everything anyways. The videos, the cameras. The Patriots have their own burn book. Well, it's October 3rd, everybody, so let's do some birthdays. Let's start off with Chubby Checker. Still going, 83 years old today. Tommy Lee, 62. He's now married to Brittany Ferlin. What happened to Pamela? Anyways, Gwen Stefani is 55 years old. You got to be kidding me. Wait, no. Gwen Stefani's not 55, is she? No. This can't be right. Gwen Stefani? Gwen Stefani's 55 years old, bro? 25 when I was 12. Right? 12, 25, 25. Wow. I can't believe that one. She's 55, bro? She looks incredible. Nev Campbell, 51 years. Wow. These are all the people from our childhood, or at least mine.
She's in Scream, right?
The new one's coming out, the Scream 7. 51 years old today. Lena Headey, 51. She was in
Game of Thrones.
There you go. Tessa Thompson's 41 years old. Ashley Simpson is 40. Rocky is 35 years old.
How about local girl and star in The Bear, Ayo Edebari, is 29 years old today.
Love her. We should get her on the show.
Would love that.
How do we get Ayo Edebari on the show? Does anybody know Ayo Edebari from Dorchester? Do you think she can talk food?
Absolutely.
Do you think she could do this?
Yeah, you can at least play the part, right?
No, but do you think,
Oh, yeah. She's probably got some local spots.
CJ Stroud, 22 years old today. Who else do we have? I like to be surprised of the birthdays. Kevin Richardson of Backstreet Boys is 52. I always thought he was 52. I'm being serious. Ashley Simpson's 39.
It is legendary soccer player Zlatan Ibrahimovic's birthday today. Born on this date in 1981.
Oh. That's all I got.
I got Talib Kweli.
Ooh.
Him and Mos Def put out some good stuff together. Joe, are you familiar with... I want to make sure I get this name right. We got a wrestler here. Oh, where did he go? It is Dave Winfield's birthday today, 73 years old.
Just sold one of his autographed cards. It was from the Tops. Tomorrow, I got one for tomorrow night because it's Friday, right? I got musings for tomorrow already.
Joe, are you familiar with Bullet Bob Armstrong?
That's the Road Dog. Oh, you didn't know? Yo ass better come.
The guys that wear like the shoulder pads
that's
and
his
stuff.
Dad. No, that's Legion of Doom.
Okay.
John Laurinaitis.
Yes.
Sorry, the one of that whole thing. I called him John, but it's not. Yes. Guys, we could probably line up 5 tag teams and be like, that kid's son, that guy's son, his son. So Braun Breaker played a little bit in the NFL. The Laurinaitis was on Ohio State, from what I
Rams
remember.
drafted him, I believe.
Rams, yep. Goldberg's kid's on Alabama now. Oh, no, Colorado. Sorry, on Colorado. Touchdown, Bucks! Mike Evans.
Joe, did you say Stevie Ray Vaughan?
I did not.
Stevie Ray Vaughan was born on this day in 1954.
One of the greatest guitarists of all time. We got ourselves a shootout. I'm glad I took the over 44. Right now, Bucks about to go up 60. You know what? Let's do it in headlines. Anything else? Any other birthdays?
It is one Freddie Boom Boom Couples' birthday today. 65 years old.
That's a good golf birthday.
For Boom Boom. Oh, yeah. Freddie Couples, legend. Smoothest swing in the game.
You going to go to the Travelers or what? I forwarded it to you.
Probably make it down there. Yeah. I went to the Senior Open when it was at Salem. Saw Freddie Couples in person. Guys still got it.
I live right down the road.
And beautiful little club over there.
Can hit that up.
My buddy caddied for Tom Watson. And on the first tee, Tom Watson hit one that was like right on the edge of being in the fairway or the rough. And Tom Watson asked my buddy, he said, you see where that landed? Do you know where that went? And he said, I'm not sure. And Tom Watson said, well, you better be sure on the second hole.
Ooh.
He got a big tip afterwards. So good guy, I think.
Big tipper. Evans is rolled. Who would have up? Gabe checking in. TD, good job, buddy. I took who did I took? Bucky, the big Bucky running back.
Bucky Irving.
I took the Bucks, the over, and Bucky Irving in a nice greasy parlay.
Hey, Bucks and the overs looking good right about now.
Get you the score right now in headlines.
From the Town Fair Tire Studios, the Patriots.
Into the end zone.
Here.
Touchdown for the Patriots. Score.
WBZ FM and HD Boston 98.5, the Sports Hub, a Beasley Media Group station. Sports Hub headlines.
All right, Thursday night football. You got the Bucs 17, the Falcons 14 right now, and a little bit of a shootout. Mike Evans, 2 touchdowns on the night. Patriots gearing up for the Dolphins this weekend, but the injury report is out. Kyle Duggar, KJ Osborne, and, well, Caden Wallace. They all did not practice. Rashae Rice placed on injured reserve. And Milwaukee leads the Mets 2-0 right now. That's disappointing. Headlines, they are brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. I'm Joe Murray. Next update soon.
This is Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown turns the corner. A finger roll is up and good. Score to the foul.
Listen to home of the Boston Celtics, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Do you have an all-time favorite buzzer beater from your career?
Definitely in the finals, Game 3. We were in Dallas. We were up 2-0. They were storming back, like the Mavericks. They got hot. Kyrie started going crazy. Like 1 minute left, I feel I hit a shot that kind of halted their momentum, and that kind of helped us carry out and get the win. That was this year, and I think that helped us ultimately get the championship.
I'm going to play you a lot of it, so that was just a little teaser right there. By the way, this is your daily reminder that the Boston Celtics are your NBA champions. They're in Abu Dhabi. We're not having the game here, obviously. We didn't send anybody out there, but will NBC Sports Boston have the game tomorrow?
I believe that they will be interrupting the Felger Maz program, and the game will be shown, and I believe Felger Maz may be on YouTube tomorrow. The rumor has it, Joe. I don't want to spread misinformation, but there is a chance the Felger Maz show will be on YouTube if they are bumped for the Celtics.
Mm-hmm. Remember, if the Mets don't win tonight, make sure I tell you a trend that I've been riding. Because, of course, the Mets would be the only one, right? But that was Jaylen Brown talking about the biggest shot in his career and talks about that big boy against the Dallas, right? Against Dallas? What game did he send it into overtime? Was it that one? Which one did he blow?
The Indiana game, he had the crazy one in the corner. That was huge.
And he didn't talk about that one.
He said no, it was the one against Dallas, which I think when you look back on that title run, obviously you think of the Indiana shot, but that shot he hit at the top of the key, Game 3, just about a minute left. I think it was...
Well, put him up 3-0.
Put him up, yeah, and it put him up 4 in the game. I think it was 100-98 or something like that, and they went up 102-98.
Well, they were going on a run. Remember, Luka kind of was going off.
Kyrie was going off.
Kyrie, yep.
So, yeah, I mean, when you think of that run, that's the first shot I think of. Joe, would you like to hear Jaylen Brown on Joe Mazzulla? On the Celtics' chances going back-to-back?
Oh, this is Jaylen on Joe Mazzulla. Everyone on Joe Mazzulla.
I'd like to hear one of his favorite Joe Mazzulla-isms.
Back-to-back. Let's do it.
Favorite Coach Mazzulla-ism? He really has kind of cemented himself as one of the unique minds in the NBA.
One of Coach Mazzulla's favorite quotes is like, there's no such thing as a foul. Either you die or you don't.
Whoa!
That just sums up Joe Mazzulla right there.
There's no such thing as a foul?
You either die or you don't.
You either die or you don't. So when you get a foul, do you want to die?
Yeah. I think that's open for interpretation, Joe. I'm not 100% sure, but I like the mindset.
There's no such thing as a foul. You either die or you don't. Can we put that on a T-shirt? Can we just...
Surprised you guys didn't make Poop NATO T-shirts last week.
Well, I mean, which Joe said it, Me or Mazzulla.
Yeah, that might be a game we have to play at some point, Joe. Which Joe said it? Mazzulla or Murray? A topic that we've been all over on the night show, Joe, was Stephen A. Smith's comments.
Oh, can we hold it?
You want to hold it?
I want to hold it.
You can hold it as long as you want, Joe.
Always, always. Well, take a quick break. Skaz is here. We're going to play you some hot ones. Jaylen Brown on hot ones. We got more for you coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5. You're listening to Joe Murray.
quick. Smelly.
It's Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
That was the show. Jaylen Brown was on. We already heard some of the sound that when they asked him, what do you think his most memorable shot was? It's not the one in, not the one in the Pacers series to turn it into overtime and then win the game. It was in Game 3 against Dallas. Put the Celtics up 4 and helped them go up 3-0 in the series. He also made a quote regarding Joe Mazzulla, who Mazzulla said, you either... Wait, what was it again? Can we hear it one more time? Because I'm not really... I don't understand it. But
Favorite Coach Mazzulla-ism? He really has kind of cemented himself as one of the unique minds in the NBA.
One of Coach Mazzulla's favorite quotes is like, there's no such thing as a foul. Either you die or you don't.
The way I take it, Joe, is if you're going to commit a foul, commit a foul. There is no middleman. There is no middling fouls.
Yeah, like if you're gonna
foul, foul.
And
don't half at.
Good.
Like go if you're gonna make a play, make a play.
Yeah, I mean that's high school stuff. But if you're gonna do it in the NBA, if you're gonna foul somebody, hit them hard, right? And not for nothing, but didn't. Well, if you look at everyone, the path to the finals, right? We said that on this show, by the way. We said that for everyone who said, yeah, but they got them without Donovan Mitchell, and they got them without Halliburton. Did the Celtics get any credit for wearing those guys down? For real. Did the Celtics get any credit for their guard play wearing down Donovan Mitchell, wearing down Tyrese Halliburton? Who got hurt in the... Luka was sucking for a period of time, right? Didn't they lose somebody in that final too? The Dallas? I'm trying to think of who they lost. Because remember, Kleber had to start playing?
Yeah, it's the playoffs, Joe. Everybody's banged up.
Yeah,
the Celtics are missing Kristaps Porzingis for every game but 3 in the playoffs.
It's true.
It's glossed over quite a bit.
He gave him a little something in that last game.
Just a little something.
A little something there. He had a great game 1. It was awesome. All right, so, we all love a whale. I love whales. We were watching orcas knock over boats down the Cape or whatever?
Voldemir was the name of one whale.
Voldemir, yes, the whale. Well, it looks like the Celtics have, their own nickname for a whale. Let's hear Jaylen Brown on Hot Ones.
One of the things he's coined is we call our offense or it's like the killer whale offense, and we attack seals because killer whales how they hunt seals, and
they work together.
And we study how killer whales attack as a unit, and then we built our offense kind of off of killer whales. So Joe definitely has a bunch of crazy stuff, but it's a method to his madness, and it works.
Okay. In on the killer whale offense.
I love me some whale. So, do you think Joe Mazzulla is just he has no more basketball videos to show? He is no longer some things jazz me up, try to think something that might get me. Obviously like
a wrestling return, maybe, if you saw someone you hadn't seen in a while.
If Stone Cold came out at WrestleMania,
a pop, you would say.
I'd pop out of my chair. When you see something you like, you pop, right? You pop. So Joe Mazzulla now, normal things basketball doesn't make him pop anymore. It might, but he needs influence outside of basketball.
I'm not even so much sure it's that he needs it. It's that he's realized his players need it, where the NBA is a long season. These guys get in the grind of it. How are we going to keep these guys interested? How can we get their attention? Let's do things a little differently. And I think that's part of Mazzulla's madness is, who would love this? Cedric Maxwell.
Oh, my God.
Cedric Maxwell is all about the killer whale offense.
It's weird. I'm not going to lie to you. Oh, but Bucky, he's going. Bucky to the 40, 30, 20, 10.
Joe, that's Rashad White.
Whatever. Score.
It's Rashad White.
Whatever. Can we play some whale sounds, please? I need whale sounds. Give it to Bucky. Really want that Bucky in tonight. So do you think they have a whale call when do they get together and they? Yeah, it was like the Mighty Ducks had the flying V. Just I need some whale sounds.
You asked for it, Joe.
So do you think that this is what he was doing with Gerard Mayo and on the defensive? Hey, guys, listen. When you're out on the field there, you want to be whales. You want to be the ones who hunt the seals.
Be the aggressor.
Yes, be the aggressor.
I just think of Dory and Finding Nemo trying to talk to the whales.
Dude, they're going to give it to Bucky here, right? He brought the team in, and do you think he played the whale sounds?
I think he showed him a video of killer whales attacking in a pack. We got some National Geographic video footage or something. Joe Mazzulla is just letting the guys watch that.
This guy needs motivation outside of he's now interested in the wild. Because now he is the prey. Or as he looks at it, he's the hunter. Give it to Bucky.
He got 2 tries at it, didn't get in, and they took him off the field.
I mean, that's not like an orca. An orca would keep going. That stinks. Here I am trying to get a guy just an anytime touchdown. They took him off the field. You're right. I'm probably behind you. Is there any more Jaylen Brown sound? We got the whales.
Well, Joe, we've teased it. But one Stephen A. Smith had some things to say.
Oh, that's right. He goes back at Stephen A. Let's hear it.
And at the celebratory parade, you wore a State Your Source shirt, as a check to Stephen A. Smith, speculating on your marketability. How do you think your relationship with media narratives has evolved over the course of your career?
I don't really do too many podcasts, too much talking, interviews. I rarely do them. So kind of some of the narratives kind of float, and I allow them to float. But, going forward, I look forward to clearing up some misconceptions and addressing some things in the past. So, maybe me and Stephen A. will have a sit down at some point and, hash things out.
I like that. I think the two of them could really do well together. That Jaylen Brown. Not marketable. A source. Yeah, now he's on Time magazine. The front cover, by the way. The last Celtic 40 years ago, Larry Bird.
I don't know, you think Bill Russell would have been on there, just for his philanthropy more recent than that. I feel like he had to have been on there at some point, but you figure he would have been on there again.
So they're at an injury timeout and it's 3rd and goal. You think we get Bucky time?
You're fiending for some Bucky.
I got anytime touchdown.
I follow.
You've heard the commercials, right? You want to do a touchdown dance of your own? Use promo code SportsHub. I want Bucky.
Yeah, things not looking too good for your New York Mets, Joe.
Suck. So there's a song by Alice in Chains. It's called Whale and Wasp.
Should we come back with it?
Sure. But can I just get some more whale sounds? Because the Orca offense could really be I call it Missoula ball, right? But is it really the Orca offense? Is that why Jaylen Brown was swimming? Is that why he's doing those workouts in the water? They want the Celtics to be like orcas so they can find seals together. The Orca offense. They should start playing whale noises at the Garden. Right? They call it the jungle. Why can't the ocean be the jungle too? They are starting to take the mentality of their coach. This guy's wild. Jalen did say a couple of things too regarding Luka Doncic and Kyrie. He said Luka has a unique rhythm. It's almost so slow, it's hard at times. Kyrie has a unique rhythm. I look at basketball as music. Everybody's playing their song. I don't know if did you already have that one?
If you want to hear it, I got it.
You know what? Here's Jaylen Brown talking about playing defense and playing basketball as music.
What does it mean to study a player's rhythm? And is there a player that has the most unique flow on tape?
Yeah. Being an elite defender, you got to study a guy's rhythm. It's a rhythm and a cadence to somehow people play. So, like, if you see, like, certain guys, they play to a certain beat, to a certain cadence. They play a certain style. And if you know their style, you can time what they're going to do next because you know the rhythm and the BPM that they kind of play at. Luka has a unique rhythm. It's almost so slow that it's hard to time. Kyrie has a unique rhythm as well, very one of one. So his moves and how his cadences is sometimes it's very, very hard to time. Like he has a lot of counter moves. Like he can go and pivot off both feet. He can shoot with both hands. He can drive both directions, which makes his rhythm a lot harder to track. Some guys only go right, some guys only go left. Some guys have two moves that they go to. So I look at, basketball as like poetry and motionist, which is music. And everybody is playing their own song, and everybody samples from different artists and they playing their own song. And if you want to stop them, you gotta study their rhythm.
And then I'll come out with a rap song. And then I'll sell my own shoe. So the Bucks threw it instead of running it to Bucky. Scored a touchdown. Shepard scored. So the Bucks are up 24-17 right now at half. What's that? 24, 30, 41? The total's 44. I think we're looking good there. We'll get to the headline here. Last headline of the night. What should we do here? Should we get back to this mutiny in the locker room? Should we get back to the Swayman thing? That's it on the Jalen stuff, huh? On Hot Ones. I gotta watch that. Is that already out?
Yeah, it came out earlier today.
So I could watch it on YouTube or whatever. All right. All right. Well, we got our final headline of the night. I'm Joe Murray here on the Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
All right, Thursday night football. Buccaneers lead the Falcons 24-17 right now. they could do this song again. It's the bounce of the wild. Snoop Doggy Dogg in the house. Like every day. With the Dr. Dre. New album, huh? All right. Well, we've had an interesting show. Let's see. What didn't we get to tonight? Let's look. So, Jeremy Swayman, lingering bitterness. The Bruins and Swayman are the difference between a cup and not. Have we even talked about that? We can do that tomorrow night if you want. Oh, this is a good one. The Patriots are already nearing the NFL's danger zone. This one is from Andrew Callahan of the Boston Herald. The Patriots are 1-3 again, handcuffed by a ramshackle offensive line. I haven't heard that word in a while. Their starting quarterback looks like a lit candle, melting under steady heat until apparently there's only a stump of him left. Injuries have knocked the best defenders over like dominoes, and a recent road loss to an NFC power forced many to reconsider the Patriots' ceiling, while a beatable opponent and some home cooking might offer a lift in Week 5. Well, if you remember last year, that opponent was the Saints, who instead handed the Patriots a 34-0 slice of humble pie. The worst home shutout loss in franchise history. The consequences of that loss, though, rippled through the rest of the season. Mac Jones losing the locker room, and the uncertainty of Bill Belichick's future hanging over the team through the end of the year. I'll pause here for a second. Again, Skaz, I keep bringing up things that happened last year that are very similar to this year. So you're 1-3. You get the Dolphins on Sunday. And the only real difference is last year, you knew the head coach could be gone. This year, the head coach isn't going anywhere. And I think Gerard Mayo has already said that, he knew they were going to take their lumps this year. But is this the same coach who openly dared opponents to stop the Patriots' rushing attack and boasted that they would always field a strong run defense? This just after they beat the Bengals? Now lumps and losing were always inevitable? Really, Gerard Mayo? Really? It was unreasonable to expect the Patriots to replicate what they did in Week 1. They got lucky. They had a turnover on special teams forced by Joe Cardona. NFL teams are 4-33 when scoring fewer than 17 points this year. And the Patriots' pathways to points feel less and less each week. And now with David Andrews out, the Patriots allowed a pressure rate of 49% on 10 quarterback hits per game. And now he's going to be reduced on guys that were on the roster bubble or brought in towards the end of the year. And Andrews isn't the only problem for the Patriots. They're missing a bunch of guys. Andrews, Matthew Judon's in Atlanta playing right now. Christian Barmore out for the year indefinitely. Juwan Bentley's done. Kyle Duggar is going to miss some time. And Peppers has been hurt every single week. What are they going to do at safety now? The defense ranks 31st on third downs, which is bottom 5. Well, it's 31st, but they're bottom 5 in DVOA. And their offensive problems in pass protection, they're glaring. 24 players have more receiving yards than the Patriots' entire receiving core. Oh, and Ramondre Stevenson can't stop fumbling the football. You gotta be kidding me right now. Wow! You gotta be kidding me! The Mets! The Miracle Mets have taken the 3-2 lead! The Miracle Mets! Ninth inning! Backs against the wall! Down 2-0! 3-2 right now.
A 3-run bomb from a much maligned man in New York over this past season, Pete Alonso.
Pete Alonso! Meet the Mets. Meet the Mets. Dum, da, da, dum, dum, dee, da, da. Oh, it was not looking good at all, Skess. It was not looking good at all. I just saw Skaz's arms raised in the air, and I looked up, and I saw Pete Alonso go opposite field for a 3-run homer right over the yellow line in the wall. Brewers trail 3-2 right now. Woo! The Bucks are up at halftime. Pete Alonso. I feel like Mad Dog right now. Say something. Say something. I'll wrap up the show here on the other side. We'll see what happens. Coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way. Around here, we call them the Joe Murray pre-party. It's Felger and Maz afternoons right now. Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
Back here at 98.5, the Sports Hub. This is Whale and Wasp from Alice in Chains, Jerry Cantrell's creation here. But does it sound like whales? No lyrics at all. Did you know that in this song? When I saw Jerry, I saw him recently in Boston, and I saw him at the Cabot Theater, which great venue that they're going to be redoing, I read today. But Jerry played this coming out on stage. This is what he came out to. The Orca offense, huh? Shamu. What's another famous whale? Free Willy?
Tilikum. He was the one. Did you ever watch Blackfish, that documentary that came out?
No.
On so Tilikum was like he was basically the one that was the father of all the whales in captivity, and he was very aggressive. And they believed that it was because they were using him so much that all the other killer whales in captivity were aggressive as well and attacking trainers, not the fact that they're killer whales that are being kept in fish bowls, but yes.
Yeah. I think the most famous whale was Moby Dick. Old Tom, if you know him. Shamu. The exploding whale. 1970, a dead sperm whale washed ashore in Florence, Oregon.
I think of the one that Kramer lost his golf ball in.
There you go.
George was the marine biologist.
Excuse me, there was Humphrey.
The sea was angry that day, my friend.
The sea was angry that day, my friend. Another Seinfeld reference. Humphrey the whale is one of the most famous humpbacks in history. Had multiple journeys. The Migaloo whale, 1991, a white humpback. Spotted in Australia. Kiko, a.k.a. Willie. Famous whale. Delta and Don. And the Fail whale. Those are the famous whales. We're at halftime of the football game. It's 24-17 right now. I took the over, so that's looking good. And in this baseball game, you may have heard my reaction in the last segment.
We may be revisiting that tomorrow night.
Yeah, the best part about Thursday nights here when we don't have games is that we're essentially just live streaming, right? We're just, hey, come watch the game with us. And that's what we're doing at the moment. But right now, the Mets have a 4-2 lead. They were down 2-0. Then Pete Alonso happened. Now, he hit an opposite field home run that went, that part of the ballpark where it's like a little bit deep and it indents and then it goes back to the wall? Well, the right fielder was playing a little too deep. So when he went to go back up, he hit the wall immediately. I think if he had a little bit more room, he could have tried to jump for it. Either way, it went right over the wall, right over the yellow line for a home run. When Alonso touched first base, do you know what he did? Some guys flex, right? Some guys put the arm up in the air. Kirk Gibson did the old, whatever. Nope. You know what Pete Alonso did? I know for the people who can't see it. Mwah! The old French kiss. The chef's kiss. I just say French kiss. The French chef's. The chef's kiss! Told you my mind. Chef's kiss. Pete Alonso. So here's the trend, everybody. The team that wins game 1 in the wild card has won every single series since it started. The Mets won game 1. It was 11-0. I took the Mets tonight. It's not over yet. Took the Mets tonight, though. And I'm riding the streak, baby. Mets are up 4-2, 9th inning here. They shut the door. Game's over, but you know what happens, of course. It's the Mets, right? It's the Mets. Leadoff single for the Brewers. I don't think we're going to be here, Skaz, when this thing ends, so might be worth tuning into. It's on Fox. Just remember, if the trend hits, it's 12-0. If the trend doesn't hit, it's the Mets. One other thing I wanted to just share, Baker Mayfield has 3 touchdowns in the first half so far. Remember the Patriots and wanted him? Remember when he was a defensive end for the Carolina Panthers? He has more actually, he's got more touchdowns than Jacoby Brissett in one half. Did you know that? And those 3 touchdowns are almost more than Deshaun Watson has had. Pete Alonso is the first Met Pete Alonso of the Mets is the first player in Major League history to hit a go-ahead home run while trailing in the 9th or later in a winner-take-all postseason game. Wow. All right, well, we'll be back tomorrow night, guys. Full show. 4th and Friday, everybody. 4th and Friday. During the day, if you want to come check out, I'll be on Fanatics Live all day from like 10 to 3 with my buddies over at Card Vault.